Should, uh, I know Phil has it, but I would never be able to find it at his house because his book collection is insane.
I found it at the libraries.
Just go to the library. Yeah, I mean, I've got the library. I gotta go renew my card anyway so I can get ebooks again. Okay, that's going. Hello, YouTube.
This
Okay.
is pre-show.
Yes.
I caught Emily in a little bit of a miscommunication regarding Warriors of Virtue, and that they because we got toys of it this week, and they did each have a virtue. One was like wisdom, and the other was like stalwart. Maybe he wasn't paying attention.
Probably wasn't paying attention. I mean, who pays
but she said she loved it.
I'm sure she liked it, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't like that movie. The movie's dumb. But I mean, everybody has different tastes.
And there's
Maybe
like
she was
six of
just...
them. That's like greedy when you're a toy maker. Like, imagine having kids collect 6 of them instead of 4.
Well, there was like 50 G.I. Joes and Masters of the Universe. There was a lot of those. They kept turning them out. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Record.
Recording. Doing it up.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creecy.
I don't get introed anymore.
Should I just
say my
name? Do you
name?
want me to introduce you every time?
Well, I'm a guest.
But you're the host.
Oh.
I mean, you're the co-host.
So that means, could I do that, like an executive privilege, and like just name me Emperor of the Radio BrendoMan show?
No.
Well, then I'll take the guest treatment. Thank you.
Okay, well, we have Derek Armijo is back here.
Hello.
On the show.
Thank you.
And you're going to be here for the next... Still got a few more weeks. So...
I don't know if I can take hearing this theme all the time. It just makes me so sad.
You're going to be really, really depressed by the end of it?
Uh-huh. I guess.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
I was just having to mute the person that came in because it was just making noise. So
they're in the dark. It's scary.
People are in the dark.
I don't know if you want to go right into it, but we watched E.T. and there's a lot of silhouettes in that movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed. That's one of the things that makes E.T. great is for the most of the movie, you don't see the adults. The adults it's a lot of shadows, and you only see their like until their midsection, and the only adult you see is the mom, and then it's all dark. And I think that's, as a kid, why I was so terrified of that movie, and why as a kid I hated it. I was not.
I heard that in the special edition, Spielberg had CGI pants on all the adults, and in the original version, I guess we don't remember that everybody's dicks and balls were
lots
out.
of dicks. So many
That
dicks.
was the 70s, man. I tried to. I showed because I found a Blu-ray quality rip of A New Hope, or the original Star Wars, you know, with no special edition stuff. I was trying to convince one of the kids at work that it was originally full of a lot of sex and violence. And
well, I mean, that's what I mean. Spielberg said he was trying to CGI the guns, but he meant another kind of gun.
Yeah.
And I mean, he fooled us all.
The dicks are still on
you see that 70 millimeter print, and it's just really blown up, and it's just like, whoa, this dick's everywhere.
But it was a British print, and even that was censored. I don't know if you realize that the terrorist line wasn't in there still. When she tells Michael, "You look like a terrorist."
Oh yeah.
I was waiting for it.
Penis breath was in there.
We can
which
confirm.
is like the best insult.
So why were you scared of ET?
Just because it was like dark and adults chasing kids and ET screaming a lot, and then it's like they take over their house and all the tunnels, and then like ET's like molting, and it was just like too much for young Brendan to handle.
But there's a lot
And
of like snacks,
yeah, I mean,
some
but then like
fun
in
and
high
games, some
school,
dress up.
I gave it another shot, and then I love the movie, which my love for it was almost ruined by the horrific special edition with the CG ET, which is just a fucking abomination of man. And I'm glad that everybody agrees about that, including Steven Spielberg.
I
So
listened to a clip where he was at some Q&A and somebody was asking him if he was going to do that to any other movies, and he said that he demanded Universal put the original on the DVD when it did come out on DVD.
yeah,
And then he
because
said, "Do you mind if I never release that version again?" And the whole audience was applauding, like,
I remember
guess
we
he
got
spoke."
it at I special ordered it at the video store I worked at so I could, you know, check it out. And I just, oh
Did you see? You
god.
didn't see it in theaters?
It didn't I know I saw it in a theater in the 80s cuz I think it had like multiple screenings, you know. Like they would bring back movies. That happened quite a bit before VHS was like huge. And so I know I saw it in a theater and I freaked out. Like I remember
But you
freaking
didn't see
out.
the special edition in the
Oh no,
theaters?
because well, that was I was living in Wisconsin and we didn't get that shit out where I lived. Like we didn't get
Really?
special screenings like that. I mean maybe in
That
Madison,
was
but
a pretty wide release.
yeah, where I lived. I mean the town I lived in, we had a movie theater, but it
Did you
was
get
like
Blade 2?
I mean yeah, but we had like
Because that was the same weekend.
this tiny little movie theater in the town I lived in. It was called Stoughton, Wisconsin, and but it was cool because they had like dinner tables, and but you'd sit around them, and it was also a pizza place, so you'd order a pizza and you'd bring it into the movie theater, but it was like pretty shitty. And so if you want to go to good movies, like a good theater, you had to go to Madison, which is like a half hour away. and and when it's snowing outside and it's like really snowy, a half hour is really far. So
Someone's creeping in. There you go.
that was my
Well,
life in Wisconsin for you.
I looked at a YouTube side-by-side comparison. He even changed shots of like the woods and stuff.
Yeah,
And he added a flowing cape to Elliot to match the logo, the Amblin logo, because Elliot didn't have a flowing cape in that shot of the bike against the moon.
yeah. Well, I him and George Lucas just need to.
And he added Glomer, which was weird,
Yeah,
from
just
the
real
Punky Brewster
at the end of the
cartoon.
rainbow. He's like, hey, I got lost. I thought I was supposed to be in New York City.
Did Glomer scare you?
No, it's a
That would,
cartoon.
I know, but did any cartoons scare you?
Not
He had the
really. I
pa-
mean,
he had the power to like
Mum
change
Ra
reality.
yeah, Mum Ra from Thundercats kind of scared me because he was like a mummy and kind of scary. Um,
What were the top 5 things that scared the BrendoMan as a
as a
kid?
kid, masks. Because
The Eric Stoltz movie.
well, actually, I remember there was like a trailer for that movie that scared the shit out of me as a kid for some reason. But no, when I was a really little as a kid, my dad took me went to the mall because I wanted to go to the He-Man live show, and
That was a
as we
mall
were,
show.
yeah, they had like a Dinosaur Dracula posted a video of it. I think it is like a freaking awesome mall show where they set up this Castle Grayskull, and then like He-Man
Did
came
you have
out,
to
but
pay for it?
no, well, I don't know because I didn't end up getting to see it because we walked by a party store, and this was in the during Halloween time, and there was a guy in a Frankenstein costume, and I lost my shit to the point where we had to go home. Like um
Well, I
and
miss
then
mall
I
tours. Nobody appears at malls anymore.
yeah, that's not really a thing anymore. Because malls are, I don't know, malls are over. But
Don't say that.
I know, I'm sorry. But yeah, and then I remember my mom. I also went to a haunted house probably a couple years too early. My mom took me and my friend Alana to a Boys and Girls Club haunted house, which was just teenagers in a dark garage with like garbage bags and shit. But we were like 4, I think, and that was too young because as soon as we got in and they closed the door and it was totally dark, we both just started screaming, and they had to pull us out of there, and so that kind of
So number 5,
scarred me a bit.
masks.
Masks. Number 4 uh, would be I saw the remake of The Blob
The
too early,
80s blob.
and it scared the shit out of me. Uh,
Were you afraid
so
of jellos and
just
stuff?
getting sucked in by a because the thing about the remake of The Blob is that they actually show the people dissolving, which wasn't in the 50s one, and it's like fucked up. And when my dad watched it with me, he didn't because he thought it was gonna be like the 50s one, and like yeah, no, and I was really scared. So
Okay, number 4, 80s blobs.
yeah, as Mark Ariano just says, the scene of the kid in the sewer in The Blob. It's um, and then clowns.
Number 3. Number 3 would be clowns, or would that be number 1? In no order.
No,
Then
no, no. I know my
clowns.
number one. Number 3, clowns.
Number 3 is clowns. Was there an incident?
Probably. I think Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I think that's where it goes back to.
You weren't
And
afraid of dinosaurs?
no, I love dinosaurs. What are you talking about? Every kid loves dinosaurs. Who's afraid of
That has a
dinosaurs?
scary
Yeah, but
dinosaur in it.
it's. I mean, all dinosaurs are supposed to be scary. That's why clowns are so fucked up because it's like,
Ah,
are they
I see.
supposed to be scary or are they not? And it's like this weird thing, and that's why they're scary. Like, I don't know. Dinosaurs are
Number
supposed to be
2.
scary. A T-Rex is supposed to be scary. Uh, Number 2 would probably be just like loud, like yelling, like people yelling, any kind of yelling.
Intense
Yeah.
anger.
Yes.
Okay.
And then number 1 is the dark.
Still.
Well, now, not now. I'm talking about young Brendo.
Oh, okay. But you're still afraid of the dark.
Not no 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 no. I used to sleep with the light on. I slept with the light on until I was like 18 years old.
Oh, like full lights?
Oh yeah,
Not even
like
just
the
like a little
lights
night
on in
light?
my room. Nightlight was not good enough.
Wow.
My mom and dad would try to force a nightlight on me, and I was like, nope. Oh,
What did you
Mark
think
with
was...
a. Oh, Mark. Somebody just saw that I shaved my head. I shaved my head, everybody. Uh,
I don't see the chat.
it's so there's a YouTube chat which you can't see.
Oh, okay.
And there's the mobile chat which you also can't see.
So what was it about the dark that was scary?
um I don't know, man. I think it really was after I watched. I still to this day am not 100% sure what movie it was, but my babysitter we watched this is like in like I was like 4 or 5, and my babysitter let us watch. I mean, she wasn't, I don't think she was paying attention, or maybe she just didn't think it was a big deal, but we watched some scary movie, and I think I've blocked it out of my mind. I don't remember. All I remember, it had kids in a house, and I don't know. There was some kind of, I think it was a slasher movie, and after that I could not sleep with the lights off. I couldn't. I would have nightmares, and actually, starting in like the late elementary school all the way through high school, if I did try and sleep with the lights off, I would have the same nightmare. And
Which is
this
what?
is it. This is about to get a little. I don't know. It's weird. I so the nightmare is, and I sleep with the lights off all the time now, and I don't have, so I haven't had this nightmare anymore. But back before, when I was in, I think I the first time I had it, I was in like fifth or sixth grade, and and so where I'm in Boy Scouts and we're at a campfire ceremony, and suddenly like everybody's gone and it's just the campfire, and then who I there's a person stand like sitting, and like I can't really see their face, and I think it's my dad because I hear my dad's voice, and they look up, and it's the Scream mask. And this was before the movie Scream. This was just, so it wasn't the Scream mask, it was just that mask. Like,
So when the movie
because
Scream came out,
I lost my goddamn mind. The first reveal of that mask, I flipped out because I was like, what the fuck? Like, so yeah, and then so I had a real big fear of that mask, and I for some reason I always had that nightmare when I slept in the dark, and then it got really traumatic for me after my dad died, because it was still like I thought it was my dad, and then it was this Scream mask thing, and then I woke up. And so but then at a certain, like, I remember the summer after I graduated high school, I came to the realization that I'm about to go to college and I can't sleep with the lights on because I'm gonna have roommates. And
what did you do at sleepovers?
if there were other people in the room, I was okay.
Oh, okay.
Um, if it was just by myself, and and
Well, then
then
shouldn't it be okay if you sleep with roommates?
yeah, but I was still kind of like, and like on a consistent basis, because I was like, after a while with other people, if it was more than like a few days, like it was a camp situation, I would start getting like really bad anxiety and having trouble sleeping. So at college, I'm like, this is a permanent thing. I don't know what it's gonna be. So that summer, I basically like fucking forced myself to sleep with the lights off, and I've powered through.
Brendo fears
Yeah.
with the
But
Z.
hey,
You've conquered them all,
yeah,
right?
pretty
Is that
much.
all
Oh
of
yeah, and I'm over clowns now because after that whole stupid like the
them?
clowns are actually gonna attack people thing, I was like, this is fucking dumb.
So you conquered masks, clowns,
Now I'm still a little okay. My one fear that I don't know if it's a fear, but
but
I'm a
what
little
were the other ones? The dark, and then what else did you beat?
um what? Oh well,
Well,
just loud like arguing and like and yelling. That's still I get really freaked out. Oh, Mark, it's okay. You're not interrupting, and you're not. I know you're not making fun of me. Everybody should be shocked that I'm just like bald now. Um, Mark was saying that he was sorry that he didn't mean to be making fun of me, but he's not. It's cool. But yeah, no. So I think I still have trouble. I get like not scared, but I don't know. I don't. I get tense when there's like a lot of like loud, just loudness and people yelling and arguing. I don't know. What about you? What were you? You claim to not be afraid of like anything.
yeah, I don't really remember what I was. I was afraid of gremlins and then the Joker, and because I would have recurring nightmares of them, and then I got over it.
So you have
I,
no fears now at
I guess
all?
when I look up, if I'm looking up at a tall building, I'll get like vertigo. Not
Mm.
on tall
But
buildings,
you're
but when I
not
look
afraid
up,
of height.
because I'm afraid that I'll back into the street, if that makes any
Oh
sense. I'll
yeah.
look up and I'll keep going into the street. I think that's it.
I'm afraid of getting hit by a car.
I guess I'm afraid of passing big rigs now that I've been hit by one and
Yeah.
spun out of
Oh my
control.
god. Um.
What else? I'm afraid of
Okay.
muggings, I guess.
Yeah, well, after I got jumped, so that's kind of, I'm a little shaky about that kind of stuff.
But you
The one,
karate Brendo them away.
no, I didn't.
Didn't you say you like knocked a knife out of somebody's hand?
Well, that was in like junior high,
Somebody
and
brought a knife to
when,
junior high,
yeah, dude, I went to a fucking, I went to a school. There was like gangs.
and you knocked it out of their hand.
I, I knocked them out. I punched him in the jaw.
Did you say hiya or some sort of Brendo phrase like Brendo to the max and then knocked them out?
No, I saw the knife. I completely freaked out, and so I decked him.
And then the jumping thing was with Phil.
Yeah, it was Phil, me, and my friend Steve, and yeah, it was after we had gone in the sewers by our college.
And and then Phil ran away.
No, we both ran. Phil got a cop, like flagged down a. Phil and I flagged down a cop. We both kind of. Phil stayed, like, tried to talk to him, but meanwhile they were just beating
What did
up our
they?
friends. I
Well, what did
ran
they want?
away.
They just started beating over.
They
They asked
started
for
punching
anything.
us.
You or just one person?
Everybody.
And what did Phil say? Like, come on,
It was
guys.
like, guys, no, you don't have to. Like, it's like, no. And he had his flashlight, and they remember they smacked Phil's flashlight out of his hand.
That's just like a Dark Goonies. Like they come from an adventure and knock your explorer tools out of your hands.
It's kind of what happened.
Well, there's a commercial on now about this special ultra bright flashlight that elderly people could get, and then they're like, it also wards off intruders with this strobe effect. And this old lady turns on the strobe when she sees an intruder, and he gets so blinded that he just runs out of the house.
The strobe light of doom. That's pretty funny.
I'm also afraid of getting someone pregnant.
That's a valid fear to have.
I just hope it would be as charming as Knocked Up. You know, all my friends at the hospital, all my quirky weirdo friends mixing with her straight button down friends.
So would I be the Justin Long in that whole situation?
Justin Long.
Oh no, it was what the other guy, Jay Baruchel. I get them mixed up all the time. Is that weird?
I could see you stumbling into a delivery room. I was just looking for the vending machine. Didn't you cause a ruckus at Phil's births?
No, I was the Rock.
Well, didn't you like need a Coke and you were like in a Mormon hospital or something?
Yeah, but I wasn't causing a ruckus. That was everybody at that hospital. That was Janelle. That was everybody.
Everybody wanted like a Coke.
We wanted caffeinated beverages, and they didn't. It's the whole town. It's the town of Loma Linda. They don't sell caffeine.
Wow.
It's insane. It's a real thing. You know what else is a real thing is that we got some mail.
Let's read it.
All right. Well, Mario Flowers has a quick one, and he wrote in and said, Mario Flowers here. Happy birthday from what? And I guess that's his way of wishing me a happy birthday.
Which was Sunday.
Which was Sunday. I am now 37 years old.
You're,
so that, yeah.
You know whose birthday is today, the day we're recording? Batman and Robin's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
20 years.
You've been writing about, you wrote a really great thing about Batman Returns.
June is full of summer anniversaries.
That's your true.
And my grandmother's birthday was June 20th. And Jaws' birthday is June 20th.
Jaws, man. Well, I had a good birthday. We went to Greenblatt's. We got high. We saw E.T.
You know,
went to Dave and
I'll bring
Buster's.
this up. I don't really get too high on your weed. I must be doing it wrong.
I don't get the expensive fancy stuff.
But you say you're fine on it.
Yeah, you have a distinguished palate. I don't know.
We
Everybody's
tried
different.
Skittles.
I got maybe just different things because maybe it's just that strain doesn't work for you. I don't know. But yeah, then we went to House of Pies and I had the best French toast I've ever had. And I'm not a
Because it
French
was two
toast guy.
different things.
It was cinnamon
Cinnamon
bread
bun bread
pudding
pudding.
French toast, and it was freaking awesome to the point where I didn't want pie afterwards because I was like, I just ate this very filling, delicious French toast. You had a bite, and you said it was good. And
You
you
played the
had,
Ghostbusters game at
oh yeah, the
David
Ghostbusters
Buster's.
game with Dave & Buster's. That was fun. The Spider-Man Homecoming
I think
game
that
was really stupid.
you just screamed, "This is a phone game."
Yeah, because it is a phone game. I hate that's a video. That's most arcade games now are just phone games.
Or at least the fly-by-night promotion. It's like a whole thing that was just a promotion, really.
Yeah, well, it's a promotion that costs like $1.50.
And I think the Ghostbuster game, that Stay Puft level is designed to kick you off so you don't play too long.
Well, that's the bonus level. Like you're done. If you don't get enough ghosts, your game just ends, and you don't even get to do the Stay Puffed. Because I watched some videos afterwards. So I was trying to figure out like what the progression in that game is, and that's the progression.
It's just randomized levels.
And if you don't, but if you don't, so
ghosts.
you get to do 2 levels, and then if you kill more than 6, if it's the solo, or 12, if it's 2 people, then you get to do Stay Puffed. If you don't, like, let's say you do those 2 levels and like you suck, then you don't even get to do Stay Puffed, and then your game's over. So Stay Puffed is a bonus.
I know, but a bonus should be, even if I don't get it, I move on.
But there is no moving on after Stay Puffed. That's it. That's the end of the game.
Really? You only get 2 randomized levels? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's all you get.
That sucks.
But it's a fun game. I liked it. Mark says ate an edible and went on Forbidden Journey at Universal the other week, and that was rough.
Yeah, even Seth Rogen admitted yesterday.
I don't know if I'd mess around with edibles at theme parks. That's like,
well, Seth Rogen doesn't mess around with edibles. Period. Snoop Dogg doesn't mess around with edibles. Seth Rogen had my exact experience. He got too high at Rogue One.
I like them depending on certain situations. Yeah, I heard that. Hold on. I had one the other day and it was fine.
What was
you just got to be in the right situation, and you got to make sure you know your dosage. You got to control the dosage. The thing with edibles is people don't control their dosage. It's like, I'm just going to eat this whole brownie, even though it has 100 milligrams of THC in it. That's going to freaking ruin your day. Yeah, you like people. You don't pour.
What did you eat?
I had these gummies that had the exact dosage, so I knew what to expect, and it was great.
How much was in it?
Well, like each gummy was like 25 milligrams. And so like that's exactly how much, like,
I think I had an edible once, but I like licked it. I didn't really even chew it. I went just a little bit.
Well, that probably wouldn't do anything. And then also the other problem with edibles is that those take like an hour to enter your like bloodstream and whatnot for your body to digest the THC, but people get impatient and then they eat more, and then that means
like you.
A cat. Yeah, like you, like me, or we had a friend who that happened to, and he completely freaked out. So I'm not gonna say. I don't want to incriminate people that don't want to be incriminated.
What are their initials?
RM.
Who's that?
What? It's Brian.
Riley Matthews from Girl Meets World. RM. I don't know who that is.
Oh my gosh. I'll type it in the chat, you doof.
Oh, right. Well, yeah.
Remember the cookies?
Yes, yes.
Because he's like, oh, these cookies are good. I'm like, yeah, don't eat. They're good, but if you eat too many, you're gonna really be in trouble, and that's exactly what happened.
I thought you were gonna tell me that like Gates or something or other people.
No,
Josh, Phil.
they don't. I don't. They don't think they're into all that.
But Phil like never accidentally ate one of your edibles when he's at
I
the
don't just
radio
have
Brendo
edibles
Manor.
sitting around. I don't. What
Like,
kind of?
oh, Jolly Ranchers, I'm
I
gonna eat
don't have.
some.
I don't just leave that stuff sitting around. No, no, people. You shouldn't. People shouldn't do that.
Brendo, what is this?
Brian
No.
asked what the hell happened to my hair. Where the hell is my hair? My hair's gone. I told everybody I was doing this. I wasn't joking. People not believe me.
That was my Phil impression.
That's your new Phil impression?
Like, no.
The
It's still high.
Vecchios. Phil had said that they were getting like a van, and they started posting pictures, and that thing is like a bus. They're driving a bus around Italy.
So let's do the segment Phil
Wait,
facts so we don't miss
we
Phil.
have another mail.
Okay.
Well, you want me to do the Phil fact? What
Do
should
the
I?
Phil fact first.
Does that to be something? What is what?
It's the random Phil story so we don't miss him.
Well, I mean, the current Phil story is that he rented what he had thought was like going to be like a 9-passenger van, like a normal size van with like a 3 in the front, 3 in the middle, 3 in the back, and then it's like a giant freaking bus. And that was, I think that's going to be very entertaining for him to navigate that around the old Italy. Can you imagine him driving down those alleys and stuff in that thing?
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Well,
I
so
do want to
far, it
see
sounds
some
like
Clark Griswold-esque.
they've been posting a lot of good pictures. They posted a video from Tivoli on my birthday. That was the inspiration for Disneyland, and they posted a
How
video
much does
on
it
my.
cost to get into a place like that?
I don't know. Janelle got in because of her My Vacation Pants blog, which everybody can check out at myvacationpants.com.
Now, Phil's favorite kind of jokes are like seeing big boobs and like going, oh. So I wonder if he gets like
I
into
don't
any
think those are
weird.
his favorite kind of
No,
jokes.
I said that's like your favorite joke, and then remember how much he laughed at that. Just like
What do you?
making like a weird face when you like accidentally see boobs or something.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I wonder what kind of international incidents he'll get into. Like he sees a lady bathing in the water or something. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. And so I thought that was entertaining, but like a Phil fact, we told a lot of our classic stories. So I don't know if, I guess one fact is that one of the reasons why Phil and I became such good friends is that in college, especially, we both had like horrific insomnia. And so we would just be up at like 3, 4 in the morning. And we would hang out a lot and watch movies and explore sewer tunnels and
I like
other
the Phil
abandoned
fact
places.
where he found his cushion in their room.
What?
You found that cushion, and didn't you like have it in your hand?
Oh yeah. He
Their
wouldn't like.
wedge.
He wouldn't like if I talked about that on the podcast.
I think you guys did, didn't you?
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I don't remember. But yeah, I did fine.
Why did you even pick it up?
I didn't know what it
You're like,
was.
what is this? It's like it's a regular
And then Phil's like,
pillow.
ah!
It's just weird that a pillow would get your attention because it was weirdly shaped, I guess.
It's like a wedge, and I didn't know. I'm like, what is this? Some kind of This is like a chiropractor thing.
He
Is it
should have
a
played. He should have played it cool and said, "Yeah."
ergonomic? Phil can't play it cool when it comes to.
Well, we miss Phil.
Yeah, but it seems like they were at the Leaning Tower of Pisa yesterday.
I had just seen the Deuce Bigelow European Gigolo poster where he's sitting there and the Pisa Tower is his dick.
Hmm.
They didn't do that. They were classy, but they did like do silly pictures in front of it.
Well, that you have to. That's what you do. And yeah, I don't know. They're having a great time, and that's awesome. And I'm sure he'll have lots of great stories to tell.
Must be exhausting to kind of have every day be really busy.
Now they do a good job of mixing it up and taking time to relax. But when you're there, you want to go see stuff. All right. Well, our next letter, our
Did they did they end up going? Because I remember there was doubt about whether they would get to go in.
what?
About going up the tower.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see anything. Well, it was because Luke isn't old enough, but they were gonna just kind of. So I don't know. I hope they did. Haven't heard yes or no on that. But we got another letter from Mark Bolton. Mark writes in and says, "Hey guys, Mark Bolton here. I had some various things I forgot to put in my last email. First off, I went to a concert recently. This is a rare occurrence for me, and it's only the 5th concert I've ever been to. Derek, do you go to concerts ever?
Is he just listing stuff that he did?
Yeah, you're just telling us what's going on. That's what we do on this show.
Okay.
Are you mocking our reader mail?
I'm just trying to get the gist of this.
Okay. You go to concerts, Derek?
No, I don't like him.
Why not?
I like hearing the. I'm lame. I like
You're an
hearing the
album
album. I
guy?
like hearing the album. I don't like a lot of. I don't like a lot of
You don't like a lot of
Michigas. And it's
you don't
like
like
when it start like there's like opening acts and like they don't really start when you're supposed to start. I don't like the whole music outing protocol. People get up and like sometimes you just have to stand there all night and drinks are expensive. It's just like seems like a hassle.
Well, I think they're a hassle now just because tickets are so nuts and expensive, and Ticketmaster and Live Nation have ruined everything about live events.
I don't know what to do if I'm
That and
listening to
cell
live
phones.
music. Like, am I supposed to be grooving?
I mean, it's whatever you feel like doing.
I don't.
You can sit.
I just want to. I just
Just
want to
kind of.
listen.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I usually do.
Everybody around me is grooving sometimes.
Sometimes groove. Sometimes groove. You do whatever you feel like.
Mark Bolton groove.
Well, Mark Bolton, I don't know. That's a good question for Mark Bolton. He says it's only the 5th concert I've been to. I saw Tom Petty on his current 40th anniversary tour. That must have been a lot of. I wonder if he got a contact high. Even though the tickets for my wife and I were expensive enough to be my anniversary, birthday, and Father's Day presents. Man, yeah,
How
see,
old
that's what I'm
is
talking
he?
about. Mark, I
Yeah,
think
that's
he's
like
in
a
his 30s.
that's a dad present.
He is a dad.
I know, like, but an older dad.
Hey, he's a guy who likes Tom Petty. I like Tom Petty. You don't like Tom Petty?
I like Tom Petty.
And he says we were in the next to last row, but it was amazing. Well, that's good. I'm glad he had fun.
He doesn't sing "Money for Nothing." That's somebody else, right?
That is Dire
Weird Al.
Straits.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Weird Al parodied that song, yes.
I just watched UHF again because it was on the TV at work, and just weird how he like the only reason that video is in there is because they wrote a scene where he falls asleep in front of a TV playing
Yeah.
Beverly Hillbillies. And like you're just making excuses to make videos.
I mean, he wanted to make that video. So, yeah, it's his
And
movie.
he did.
It's
Zany
great. I love
movie.
that movie. All right, Mark continues on. He says, I just heard my vacation letter read on episode number 134 here on June 20th. Oh, yeah, because he was way behind. So we didn't know when he was going to catch up. And Phil asked him from, like, because, we figured Mark was going to be listening to that episode way later. And so he says, Phil, you asked me how Spider-Man was. And I got to this episode before that. But Wonder Woman sure was amazing. You guys probably spoke about it already, but not with me. So here goes. Oh, so Mark really loved Wonder Woman. He says, "Oh man, I love that movie. It was so not Zack Snydery. It was the DC Comics movie DC Comics deserves. Gal Gadot was so great. The script was great. Chris Pine was super great." Derek, how did you feel about Wonder Woman?
I wonder if people are just like so into it because it's not Zack Snyder. Like they're just so
Maybe.
relieved.
Well,
Is that it?
now this next statement is just brace yourself,
Controversial?
I guess, because he says
All
it's the
right. Let's hear it.
second best DC Comics movie after the
He thinks it's a
78.
better movie?
It's
Oh,
the
okay.
second best DC Comics movie after the 78 Superman movie.
So he's
So he's
counting all of
basically,
them.
if we're saying this is better than all the Batman movies, that's where I'm like, nah.
But you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, but there's no way it's better than Batman 89 or Batman Returns or The Dark Knight.
I like that attitude.
There's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry.
And I'm here to
I
tell
put
you,
I put those three movies
you're
above
right.
78 Superman. So
Maybe his list is like a list that you tell people to be impressive.
I don't know. I mean,
Because
hey,
if I saw that list, I'd be like, oh, that guy is progressive.
well, hey, that's I mean, good. He loved it, and I haven't seen it, so I have no judgment. I'm sure I'm gonna like it. I think I'm gonna like it. All right, and then he says, "By the way, I have a Superman comic from the 1950s where he learns all of surgery knowledge in minutes, so he can turn Lois Lane from a mermaid back into a human. So flying around the Earth in order to reverse time seems somewhat tame in comparison." That is true. They have always just been giving Superman like crazy powers. That's not a new thing. Derek, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay. You're very quiet. Do you like this? Do you like Superman like as a character?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like so what's your do you like the like 78 movie? Do you like Superman
I
2?
didn't when I was a kid, but I grew to appreciate it just like a couple years ago, really. I get
Have
it
you
slow.
seen
I get
have you
it.
seen 3 and 4?
I've seen them all. Those are
Yeah.
garbage. Richard
Yeah.
Lester garbage. Richard
You like
Lester directed A Hard Day's Night, so he's into like wigs and people like there's like that Superman 2 joke where they're fighting and blowing super breath at each other and he chooses to show instead of showing destruction he chooses to show a guy on roller skates that's getting blown away in the wind and wigs flying off and hot dogs flying out of buns. I don't need that shit.
So did you like Superman Returns?
Hmm.
I liked it. I just thought it was kind of boring.
You liked it and you thought it was boring?
I liked it, but I
Is that
thought it
what
was
you
a
said?
little bit boring. Yeah.
Well, there you go. At
Yeah, I
least you're not
liked it.
like an obnoxious about,
I,
oh, you gotta
I
punch somebody.
well, he should have punched something, but that's why I thought it was a little boring. But I thought Brendan Ruth was a great Superman, and it's unfortunate that he didn't get to do more because I really liked him. And now, like, what is he even doing?
He's the Atom in Legends of Tomorrow on the CW.
Oh, I've never watched that. Is that good?
No, none of those are good.
People
But
love those shows.
Joe Dante directed an episode.
Yeah,
He's doing like TV now.
yeah, that's what he's doing.
He did a
That's
lot of Hawaii Five O.
Joe Dante is a TV director now. You know who else is a TV director now? Kevin Smith is a TV director now.
Mm-hmm. He went to Disney World on
Yeah, he went to
Father's Day.
Avatar Land. I saw a picture. Harley just posted a picture.
But how did they just get mobbed the entire time?
I don't know. I don't think he gets mobbed that much, like
I
at
mean,
those
he's
kind of places.
pretty stands out. I mean,
Yeah, but a lot of
Disneyland.
people.
Disneyland is the place where you'd get most
I don't,
recognized.
they went to Disneyland all the time, and I asked him, and he said he rarely got like mobbed or approached at
I
Disneyland because
think
he
now
used to
that he
go.
wears jerseys
Maybe
and
I don't know.
the hat, he kind of really looks like Silent Bob now.
I don't know. I'm sure. Maybe they get like a. Maybe now they get like a plaid. Who knows? We'll have to ask. Um. All right. Is there any? Okay. There's more of this letter. So my job as a phone bank representative is very stressful with bursts of boredom in it. Oh man, I don't miss any of that at all. So I have a fiddle pile of my own. I have some Bucky balls, about 280 small metal magnetized balls. I counted once. So are they like in, like it just? How does
I
that
think
work?
you'd like fidget spinners if you got your hands on one.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with them at all.
But when I looked at one, you're like, put that down. You're like my parents. You're like, what are you looking at that for? You gonna get one?
I just
That's
think it's
when I'm like,
goofy.
I'm just looking at the price, and you're like, put that down.
I didn't tell you to put it down.
You just got like, what are you doing?
I would definitely not buy one like on the street in LA because they're probably
would.
charging like way more than
I
if you
got
just
one for
went.
free, and I like it
How'd you get one for free?
because I told you I got a prototype from a friend
Oh,
that was
yeah,
making light up
that's
ones.
right. You got a cool light up one. And so he said, and some crazy errands thinking putty. I used to have that in my old job because after I had this like Doctor Who baby adipose that I smushed
What
so
is that?
hard.
What is
What?
thinking putty?
It's like silly putty.
You put it on newspaper,
Well, you just kind of put it in your hand and squish it.
like squand,
Like silly putty or any of that stuff.
like gack.
Squand, gack, floam. I don't know. Floam isn't
There,
really.
I've been watching a lot of '90s commercials, and there's this one. I think it's like a gel that you could like make little like sea creature. Like it's a gel, and you can position like fish and stuff in a little sea land.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's like you have to let it set overnight. That's the kiss of death for a toy. If you have to wait like a whole day.
Well, what about? I mean, the classic. You never had like the little pill that you put in the water, and then it
What's that?
became then it turned into like a sponge thing, or the little like you'd put the little guy in the water, and then overnight it would turn into a giant dinosaur or something. You ever had one of those? I love
I've
those.
had ones that like took 2 seconds to become a giant thing.
Oh, we had one
You mean
that
you
like
leave it in the cup and then it just keeps getting bigger?
we'd get one you put in the bathtub or in the sink, and there'd be like a little dinosaur or something, and then it would get huge overnight. Those were cool.
I don't want to wait.
So you're not. What about sea monkeys?
I never had those.
I don't think I did either, but I would always get them as like a when we had like a white elephant gift exchange. All right, so he says I'm the envy of all my coworkers. A good amount of bank reps around me have those fidget. He calls them fiddle spinners. Those fiddle spinner things. I have
How old
actually
is
been.
Mark Bolton again? He sounds like a 79-year-old man.
He's in his 30s, I think.
He works at a bank? Who works at banks?
Lots of people work at
Calls it
banks.
fiddle spinners. He's going to see Tom Petty. Next, he's going to tell us about his favorite pomade.
I've actually been thinking of buying one. It really helps relieve stress to play with something while a customer yells at me. That's true.
So
Trust
they
me, because
call him on the phone with his
yeah,
with their bank problems. That
I'd
sounds
be
awesome.
all about a fidget spinner if I was still working tech support.
Because everyone that actually calls him is old. Like all the kids nowadays have their banks on like that weird app.
Mhm.
But it's not. I think it's not even a bank.
All the kids these days have their banks on that weird app. You sound like an old man.
But I'm right, right? You know that app where it's not a bank, but you just
No,
give
I don't
them all
know
your money,
why.
and then they give
That's
you like a white card.
sounds like a bank to me.
But it's like an app. There are no locations.
So it's a bank without locations, but it's still a bank. Why would
Yeah,
you want a bank that didn't have a location? What if you needed to
or
talk to somebody?
FDIC. Yeah, because sometimes he said he deposits his check and it doesn't come through, or his purchases don't like go through till the end of the month, and then there's this huge chunk,
Yeah,
all at
F
once.
that, dude.
Yeah,
Get a
and
real bank.
if you do have I do a lot of banking through apps and websites. I haven't
Mhm.
talked to a person in like years, so they got to be old. And they're yelling at poor Mark Bolton
Mhm.
or something that they didn't know about, or their identity was stolen because they didn't know how to throw away all their receipts. I
Yeah.
don't envy Mark.
All right, and then he follows up on because he had said he was reading a book called The Passage, and he had thought that it was something that Phil recommended, but it was actually something I did. So he says the book I'm reading is indeed The Vampire One by Justin Cronin. Maybe it was Brendo that was reading it. Yes, I read it. Somebody got it for me for my Secret Santa, I think. Or no, I bought it. I got it at the library. Mark, you got it for your Secret Santa. And he says, I'm on about page 300 since I last wrote in. It's good, but very depressing. Yeah, it's pretty depressing. I mean, it's a post apocalyptic scenario of vampires, and a lot of people die. With today's political climate, I find myself putting that book down and reading more comics since I can't take the depression. And that's a man that knows his limits, and that's good. Derek, you're always getting worked up by internet fights. You need to know when to fold them.
I'm not in the fights.
Yeah, but just observing, you get worked up by observing things. Why don't you just not
I got worked up once.
keep
Are you
scrolling?
saying I'm a guy? Are you saying I'm a guy that doesn't know his limits?
Sometimes you just get into things and you're like, why am I mad?
I'll be more like Mark Bolton.
Gotta
He's a fiddle
go.
spinner.
I'm gonna continue to listen to number 134 while scooping cat John Goobang Doo from the kitty litter. Peace out, Ben viewers. Mark Bolton.
Do they still
P.S.
do the
Mario.
comic book podcast?
They done a few. I think they're still doing it. Yeah, Comic Nerd Unite. Mario Flores, you bought a Cthulhu book. Please write in and tell us about it. Me so want to hear it. Consider this another pen pal within Radio BrendoMan. So there you go, Mario Flores trying to get the pen pal thing going again, asking Mario about his Cthulhu
Is that
book.
different than Mario Flowers?
That's Mario Flowers' actual name, I think.
Oh, I thought it was another thing.
P.P.S. My son has started to watch the Alvin and the Chipmunk movies. I can't wait to hear that Pizza Toots joke in the flesh, so to speak. Mark is very entertained by the Pizza Toots quote from
I mean, he could hear it. He could just watch the trailer on YouTube,
Yeah,
like you
well,
did.
sure.
I mean, did you watch the whole thing?
I didn't. Phil did. I have not watched a single Alvin and the Chipmunks movie.
But didn't you say, or you just heard? You just heard.
We heard the trailer. We watched it. Well, because I took the kids to see some movie, and they had the trailer beforehand, and so it's a theater full of kids. And as soon as I think it was Theodore that says Pizza Toots, that whole theater of kids went. You would have thought it was like the funniest joke of all time. They went crazy. And then for like the next several weeks, Luke and Audrey would just be like, every once in a while, would be in the car and they'd just be like, Pizza Toots. Like, they loved it. Kids
I'm gonna shelter my kids. My kid is gonna be like Rick Moranis' daughter in
Yeah, do you want that? That's a cautionary tale.
Except instead of like square roots and stuff, it'll all be like empty nest episodes.
Oh my god. Well, we have also PPPS, count your bones. PPPPS, have a good Europe trip, Phil. Well, I think he's having a good trip. You having a good trip, Derek?
Did we convince Phil that he didn't come up with like the cookies cool?
Well, the way he is using it, I guess he came up with, but it's still ridiculous.
All right.
But it is not ridiculous is listening to podcasts on Stitcher and rate, review, subscribe this podcast wherever you're listening to it. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music. I don't think you can review stuff on there, but if you can.
Do you do ads for Stitcher? Is this an ad for Stitcher?
I mean, it's good to, yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you.
Because I remember you telling me, I'm not joking, like you don't use Stitcher anymore.
I don't personally because I can't. I would if I could.
Oh, okay.
It's not that I don't like Stitcher, but I still support Stitcher.
Use now?
I use the built-in Google Play Music on my phone because I can't have any apps on my phone because it's just full without me really doing anything because it's a Galaxy amp.
And is it shitty?
Is what?
Is it shitty?
Was what shitty?
A Google Play app?
No, Google Play app is great. I love it because it's built in. It does. I mean, it's a podcast app. It does what it's supposed to do. The only problem with it is that not every show is on it yet, but they should be because this is Android users constitute a huge amount of the mobile phone base, and so I mean, Google Play is built into every. It's installed on every Android. What is that sound?
You're so distracted.
You made
Looking at my
some
phone.
weird sound.
It's just the phone sounds.
Yeah, you shouldn't be making those because they're going to show up on the recording.
Well, your phone makes sounds.
That's the chat. It has to. I can't turn that off. Are you getting bored checking your phone?
I just realized we haven't talked about the breaking news.
Oh,
you may not even know because you're.
No, I know about the breaking news because I don't get my news from Facebook. I actually go to the source. I'm back to using an RSS reader, so I get all the news because I was tired of having everything filtered through the Facebook BS.
I guess that can be dangerous.
So, Lord and Miller left Han Solo with 3 weeks left of shooting, which is kind of unprecedented.
You may have missed the real bombshell that happened.
Well, the real bombshell is that Ron Howard is like the favorite.
No, the real bombshell is right before we started recording. Variety's like, oh, they're talking, and they were fired.
Weren't they? It was over. It definitely sounded like they were fired, and I heard because they were trying to dig it up, and it sounds like they were fired because they couldn't get along. They had a fundamental disagreements with because of Kasdan, right?
Kasdan, man, that family, Kasdan, your favorite family.
I know. Is Kasdan gonna take over? Like,
He's one of the front runners.
I don't want the director. They give it to Kasdan than freaking Ron Howard.
Mumford? You want the director of Mumford and Dreamcatcher?
I'd rather have that than freaking Ron Howard. Ron Howard to me is worst case scenario.
Maybe if they time traveled and got Parenthood Ron Howard, which I just watched and I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah. But I don't know where that Ron Howard is because we haven't seen that Ron Howard in.
Does that mean Babalu Mandel is going to work on Han Solo?
Dude, I don't know what's going to happen. This is very troublesome. When somebody walks off a picture at this stage, which again, kind of unprecedented, especially on something like this. These like side movies are cursed, right? Like, what the hell's going on at Lucasfilm?
Josh Trank, remember him?
Yeah.
He did that to himself, I think.
He did that to himself, but then like, what's going to happen? Are they going to bring in what's his face? Because the guy that they brought in from Rogue One.
No, they already said no to that.
But what the hell is going on over there? This is bad. But hey, it's just a movie. I mean, I don't know. You got bigger things going on. But still, it's very
big to me.
It's big to me too. This
does happen a lot more than you think it does, but it's usually quiet. But not apparently. The director got fired in the middle of it, and they had to get somebody else to take over.
This isn't even the middle, though. This is like, I mean, Alien 3. If there's move, but not at this stage and on this high profile. Like, it's a pretty big deal. And
what's your favorite Ron Howard movie?
Probably Parenthood, either Parenthood or Splash.
I like Parenthood. You don't like Frost?
Frost Nixon's good.
Do you like the Da Vinci Code?
Good. No, I don't like Da Vinci Code. I don't like A Beautiful Mind, really. I mean, Beautiful Mind's okay. I think it's extremely overrated.
Do you like Angels and Demons?
No, I haven't watched any. I watched part of Da Vinci Code, and I was like, this sucks. And
when Da Vinci Code came out. Their gimmick was it came out at the same time all over the world. So our screening in Los Angeles was at 6 a.m. at the Dome.
That's really stupid.
And I went because I was up all night, and then it was like that Yes Dear episode where they inundated us with posters and shirts, and there was a special breakfast snack
Oh my
bar
god.
menu, and we had all these puzzles and stuff, and we're like all excited. We watch, I fall immediately asleep. A, because I'm tired, B, because it's boring. And then when I come out, there's paparazzi everywhere. Like the morning news was trying to get the first reactions, and I was like smacking cameras out of my face, like, get out of my face.
It's just so, that would have been awesome if you were on the news, like you're all like weary eyed, like, oh god, no.
Probably. Same thing happened when The Interview came out, and Cinefamily was like the only theater to show it at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And I came out and there were people.
I remember, didn't James Franco, weren't they there?
Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg were there, yes.
Okay. Well, you know who else is always there for you is the Benview Network of podcasts. BenviewNetwork.com.
The Galaxy of Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Of which you're like really the one with the most episodes, right? And the most consistently made one, right? Because the flagship founders
my horn.
kind of abandoned their original podcast.
Well, things evolve, people move on. I mean, not every show has to go hundreds of episodes. You know. Brian says he started listening to Midnight Marinara. It's fun. It is fun. If you're into that stuff, it's pretty spooky. I get a little scared. You know what's not scary is saving $50 off a DreamHost by going to RadioBrendo.com, clicking that DreamHost link, and you'll get $50 off your order.
It is scary how much they'll save.
You also can get a free trial at Amazon Prime by going to Radio Brendo and clicking the Amazon Prime link. And I mean, you would definitely want to try that out, right? I mean, free shipping, free 2-day shipping with no minimum order size, the huge Amazon Instant Watch library, Amazon Prime Music.
You can get
discounts on video game pre-orders.
Like groceries, right?
Yeah. Prime Pantry. All kinds of stuff.
Didn't Amazon just bought Whole Foods? What does that mean? What does that mean for the supermarket? What does that mean? Because I saw a Nightline about the Amazon Go marketplaces, like the actual, they'll have a supermarket, but it's basically kind of patterned to what the most popular things are, and then a runner will run through and grab everything on your order, and so there was all these runners in this kind of empty, not open to the public grocery store. It's kind of interesting.
We have one last question from Brian. He asks, has Derek seen Get Out?
I have. It was good.
Did you enjoy it?
I liked it.
I haven't seen it because I would get scared, but now that I've read enough about the movie, I think I can handle it.
Like you still get scared at...
I'm trying to not get scared at horror movies, but there's something about watching them by myself, and I don't know. I get scared.
Even if you were, let's say you're in a theater, but you're by yourself. I
don't know. I guess I could probably handle that more.
I just read an article that Daniel Waters, the writer of Batman Returns, was interviewed, and he said he wishes he could get his younger person DNA and inject it into himself because he wants to be scared by movies. Like I would want to see what would it be like to be scared. No. So
I want to be back because in high school I watched every horror movie all the time. I don't know what happened. I think it's just living in an apartment by myself. I get really freaked out.
You used to not be scared.
When I was living with I have my mom nearby. I don't know.
But those guys are going after black people, and you're not black.
It's not. I don't know. It's just the overall. I hate jump scares with a fiery.
It's Get Out is one of the rare horror movies with no jump.
No, scares. I know, and that's why I'm probably gonna watch it. But I'm just talking about horror movies in general right now, and so many of them rely on jump scares, and I hate jump scares. They're cheap, and they suck. I hate them.
They're manipulative.
You know what I don't hate is people going to RadioBrendo.com and clicking on the Amazon banner and ordering things, and then we talk about them. But I think we're gonna save that for next episode because we are out of time.
I think
Uh,
Jordan Peele and I would be friends.
Jordan Peele's a great guy. I'm sure he'd.
I
I'm
think
sure
I
he'd be
like him
friends with a
better
lot of
than
people.
Michael Key. One of my first dates with somebody that I went out with for a little bit was it was before Key and Peele had a show on Comedy
Hmm.
Central, and so it was
Hmm.
at the UCB theater, which I just read. That's kind of like a lame date, taking someone to UCB. It's very girls say, but
It's
anyway,
what?
it's a very common date in Los Angeles. Apparently,
Oh,
it's the new coffee date. Anyway, it was empty because it was the late show and
I
nobody knew
think
who they
going to
were.
anything where you can't talk is a bad first date.
So it was empty and it
That's my
was
opinion.
late, so nobody was there, and so we were kind of the only ones in there, and I really needed to pee, so I had to run out and pee. And Michael Key yelled at me.
He yelled at you for getting up.
Yeah, I couldn't help it.
You get yelled at by so many celebrities. That's my favorite thing about you.
Well, you get tackled by their security.
One time, and now I've shown you the scenario. I showed you exactly where it all went down. I was trying to get to the bathroom by the dome entrance. They were coming out of the dome entrance, and it was a misunderstanding. That's what happened.
Then there's the Russell
And
Brand one.
well, Russell Brand, security guard, is a jerk. And Russell Brand is weird for not even acknowledging my
That was
freaking
happening.
presence. And thankfully, Judd Apatow made it okay.
Like he
Judd
always
Apatow,
does.
the moral of that whole story is that Judd Apatow is a wonderful human being, and he made it okay. But then we got accosted again by a security guard, and again, Russell Brand said nothing, and it was just really weird.
Didn't Judd Apatow like talk to you for a minute? Like, hey,
Well, it was
what are
so the
you
first
doing?
time. So I had already talked to Judd because him and Nick Stoller, is that the correct
Hmm.
name? Were sitting in front of me watching the movie, and it was cool because I got to hear them just like talking about like what could get removed and what could. They were like basically like taking notes the whole time and talking about it. So then afterwards, I talked to him a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, it was really cool." And then he was like, "Oh, wow, yeah, we're talking." And then I turned around from Judd and saw Russell Brand standing right there. Did not see a security guard. Did not see that he was had his freaking entourage or whatever. I just was like, and as I was about to walk up and be like, "You were really great," the security guard stepped in between me and him and was just like, "Not right now," or "No." And then Judd Apatow from behind me was like, "Really?" So I turned back around and he was like,
Like,
"Man, I don't know."
Judd,
And Judd's like, "Man, what's up with that?" And then he thought, and he's like, "Oh," and then uh, and then Anthony and I want to get food, so then I was like, I shook hands with Judd again, and 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 then we walked, and then went to go find. We went to this. Well, we went to a restaurant, except it was closed. So then we had to go back the way we came to get to my car. And as we were turning or going back, then Russell Brand and his posse were walking towards us. So I don't know what the guy was thinking, but the security guard looked at us and said, "You just keep on walking." And Russell Brand did not acknowledge that the security guard said that, or he didn't nothing. And I'm
did
like,
you get
what?
mad at that? Did you get all worked
Afterwards,
up?
I was like, what the fuck just happened? I got treated like a criminal.
Can I
I
tell a quick story before we end?
Yeah, and then we got to end this episode.
I only had one chance to talk to Judd Apatow, and the way you talk about him, it seems like he's really nice to nerds because he was a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at the like an ArcLight screening of 40-Year-Old Virgin. I had my undeclared box set, and I got Seth Rogen to sign it in the gift shop, and he wrote "I love you, Derek" on it. And I got Sam Levine. I got that Indian guy that's in all their movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was walking up to Judd Apatow at the end of the movie, and he took it and he signed it. But there's this lady, this Hollywood pretty lady that was just trying to get in a movie. He's like, "Oh, here's my resume," and like, you're taking up my time. And so
That's the worst.
and then
That's
I didn't get to talk to him, and I've never seen
ugh.
him. I mean, I have, but I don't know what I
At
would
least
say. At that time, I was just like a kid, you know. That's cute when I go up to you. Now it would be dumb. And I've been in his
he's cool.
office.
Every time
I've
I've
been
talked to
in
him, he's
his
been cool.
bungalow at the studio, and I've been in his home, and I've never talked to him.
Did you talk to Leslie Mann?
I did.
Was she nice?
She was a nice lady.
See,
And
that's
I
good.
talked to Maud.
Yeah.
Once.
What'd you talk to Maud about?
I don't remember.
Man, like Maud is like in college, and Iris is it was weird. It's a reminder of aging, I guess. And you know what else is a reminder of aging is that it's time to end this show. So be sure to go to radiobrendo.com and check out all your other episodes. Subscribe there. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. Derek, where can they find you? You're at Derek Armijo on Twitter, correct?
Mm-hmm. Your last radio, BrendoMan, you accidentally put 2 commercials on. Or you put on the Benview tag before the commercial and then after, so it was accidentally there twice.
Oh, I didn't know that.
See, I listen.
Good catch. Nobody else did. Nobody says anything to me.
There you go.
Maybe nobody's listening to this show.
I am.
Or nobody listens through the scene. You just love that song. And you're the only one. I don't know. But we'd love to hear from you. Use our contact form at radiobrendo.com or brendoman@gmail.com. RadioBrendoman@gmail.com also works. At BrendoMan on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
I have one more thing to leave you with this week.
Okay.
It's a question. I'll let you think about it through the days that we have off before we do the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do any podcast that I asked you to co-host with me?
The way you're saying that makes me have to put some condition where I would need to know what it is.
A podcast where each week we try really hard and dig and do like, here's what Donald Trump did right this week.
No.
All right then. We'll see you. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Why would you? You wouldn't want to do that.
It'd be interesting.
That already exists. That's Fox News. That's
like making stuff up. Like we're literally fine. Like, well, at least he did like this week.
I don't know.
Who knows what he's doing right? We'll never know through this mainstream media.
Political podcasts aren't my thing. I don't need that kind of stress.
What if you became the new John Oliver?
That John Oliver gets death threats.
Oh, that sucks. You don't want
I don't want to deal with that. I don't want people to like hate me so much that they want to kill me. I don't think I have anybody on that hates me that much right now. Although somebody did once tell me they want me to die in a car wreck on my birthday.
From the podcast?
No, this is just a person in my life.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I have a nemesis.
Still? That same person?
I'm fine, but they're apparently still very upset.
Well, we'll leave
you with that. It doesn't feel good.
We'll leave
it doesn't feel good. Somebody wants the BrendoMan to die.
Well, even Batman has, you know.
Well, Batman's Batman. I'm not Batman. I'm not out there.
I don't like a bat. You're the BrendoMan.
I'm not. What am I fighting against?
Well, you're like, I saw that wrestling video. You're the big bad BrendoMan. You kind of invite people to try to take your belt.
Well, I appreciate you joining us again. And we'll be back on Friday since we're releasing Wednesday and Friday this week. But next week, we're recording on Sunday. So we'll be there for you at radiobrendo.com. And so for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Derek Armijo.
Have a good one, everybody. And John Goobang do. All right, so be sure to save it and then don't save over it for the next one.
I know why it's taking so long to save.
Computer is old and slow. Do you have a lot of programs running?
No.
That was episode number 340. But you do have an old computer. Oh yeah, Brian,
Radio
your guess is
BrendoMan
correct.
340.
Yes. God, it's hot. I gotta power through this next episode so I can turn the AC on. I'm not gonna go to bed till super late. I slept after I woke up, went and got my head shaved, watched Monday Night Raw, and then I slept for like 3 hours, and then I woke up, and then I did this podcast. Well, I did some other stuff.
When did you wake up?
Today I woke up at probably like 9. I don't know.
All right, I'm ready to record the second one.
Okay. Well, I officiated a wedding yesterday.
How long were you there?
Well, I got home at like 10. The wedding I got there like 11. The wedding was from 11:30. The wedding was only like 20 minutes, but then the reception was until 5 o'clock. And then I went to my friend's house afterwards.
Why is it so? So it was at noon, and then you had to wait 5 hours for the reception?
No, the reception was until 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't want to go home on a Monday at 5.
Yeah, so I went to my friend's house afterwards.
Ready?
Yes. 1, 2, 3. Record.
Recording.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creecy, and we are still joined by Derek Armijo, the Summer Phil.
Hello.
How you doing, Derek?
Just, trying to get my energy out from that theme.
Yeah. Does it bum you?
I am the BrendoMan for you, and I will take a page out of your book. Why don't you do a version of it?
Because I'm not a singer.
But you've done it.
Yeah.
There's proof that you've done it.
But I don't want to sing my own theme. That's pretty narcissistic.
It's funny. I have a thing to start off the podcast today with.
Okay.
A legitimate question.
Okay.
Why didn't they tap you to play Alpha 5 in the Power Rangers reboot movie?
You think I would make a good Alpha 5?
You could put you in that suit.
Brian says back to back. Yeah, we always record both episodes on the same time.
Ay, ay, ay.
See, you're already in the mood.
You're rubbing your your brow there. See, you're born to play Alpha 5.
Which one's Alpha 5? The little robot?
Yeah, he talks to Zordon.
I think I would rather be Zordon.
Well, you're Alpha 5.
You're saying I'm like a spastic robot?
Brendo 5.
Okay.
He's alive. Anyway.
I was going to tell you that the other thing I did today was I finished I wanted to make I wanted to keep a spreadsheet of all the wrestling shows I go to. And so I worked all the way back to decided to start not from when I was a kid, but from that first MWE show I went with Emily, with you and Emily when you were
all the ones
when you were cheering for the chef. Well, every live show I've been to since then, which is in 2013. Can you guess how many live wrestling shows I've been to since that show in 2013?
Too many.
The answer is exactly 80 shows.
So what's the average?
That's a lot.
What's the average ticket price?
Well, it ranges from free to like $250, so it's all over the place. Whoa. I would say on average, probably like $30.
Okay, hold on. Let me get the old calculator out here.
On average, $30, but this also includes the most I spent was the $1,500, and the least I spent was free.
30 times 80 is $2,400.
Yeah,
in a lifetime.
that's if you average it
Plus
out.
the 1,500, that's almost 4,000. I'll round it up to 4,000 because of all
I've
the air
definitely spent
travel.
at least 5,000, more than that. If you're like more, I don't know. I spend a lot of money. It's my prime thing. It's my thing, man.
It
I
is your
thought I'd been
thing.
to more shows, but 80 is still a lot. I feel like it gets a good number. Because imagine if I went to 80 concerts or 80.
Over
I mean,
4 years.
yeah,
Let's see. Hold on. Let me crunch more numbers on that. So 80 shows divided by 4 years is about 20
it's
shows a
20.
year.
Except then you have to take into consideration the fact that 15 of those 80 shows I went to were in the span of 4 days in Orlando.
Jesus.
So my
Is your
WrestleMania
funeral is your funeral
marathons,
gonna be wrestling related?
that's up to whoever plans my funeral. Why would I want? I want to have a Brent. It would be cool to have a BrendoMan Memorial Wrestling show.
Where like you have like Triple H like uh
Well,
pile
that's what they
drive
do
your
when a
body.
wrestler. A lot of times when wrestlers die, they like do like tribute shows and like give the money to their family or something. So I know I'm not a wrestler, but I'm a big fan. So if somebody put together the BrendoMan Memorial Wrestling Show, they're pretty sweet.
But none of your close friends like wrestling.
I mean, Emily likes wrestling.
You think she'd put that together?
I
I'm
don't
saying
know.
the
Maybe.
group wouldn't want to do that.
Of course not,
I would want
which
to
is
like
fine.
do a last action hero thing where like I stuff you with explosives and try to suss out a mob boss
Why do we
and
keep talking about my funeral on this show?
I don't know. It's gonna be quite the event.
Are you like you have a
I don't
premonition of
want
my
it to
death?
happen, but if it happens, it's gonna be a big deal. It almost happened already when you nearly got asphyxiated.
I almost got asphyxiated. Man, that would have been
What year was
horrible.
that?
That was in 2013
So you wouldn't have had your wrestling renaissance.
or 2014. It was, I think it was 2014 because I've been living in San Diego for like a year when that happened. So that's when it was starting. That was when it's starting. But it's really ramped up lately. And now I think the number of shows is going to explode because just in the last month, I've been to like 6 or 7 shows. And I looked at my calendar. I got a huge string of shows coming up. I'm going to Tijuana on Friday with Sean, the hot tub guy. And
Don't tell people.
hey, he's a great persona in the wrestling world.
Just sounds weird out of context. I'm going to
And
Tijuana with a hot tub guy.
yeah, and we're going to see the Crash Lucha Libre at the famous Auditorio in Tijuana, which I've been always been wanting to go to a show there, and I'm really excited about that. And then going to on Monday, I'm going to Monday Night Raw at the Staples Center, and on Tuesday, I'm going to SmackDown down in San Diego, and then going to New Japan Pro Wrestling in Long Beach next weekend. So it's a lot. Going to a lot of wrestling.
Would it be okay if do you want to be cremated or buried?
I think burying's like really expensive and pointless. So I would say just for the sake of
Is it
saving
okay to
money.
put you in a coffee can like in Big Lebowski and just kind of throw you
Sure.
out on the beach and say according to what his wishes might have been?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with whatever.
I think it
I'm
would be
dead.
me and it
The
would
funeral
be
is
me.
for the survivors. I'm gonna be dead. I don't care.
I think it would be me and Andrew out there arguing, him yelling at me because his face is full of Brendo ash.
Man.
I don't know how Andrew's going to get wrapped up in this, but this seems like he'd somehow get wrapped up in it.
Well, you know what? Definitely people get wrapped up in is buying things on Amazon.
So, what murderer is gathering his tools to bury a body this week?
I don't think we have any tools this week. We do have some food items. We got Doctor in the Kitchen Flackers flaxseed crackers, savory flavor. I like that they're by a brand called Doctor in the Kitchen.
Well, Adults definitely have it better now with health food because it used to be just rice cakes,
Yeah, or granola
and now
or
there's a lot
some
more
form
options.
of. Well, there's stuff like this, but I think anything with flaxseed is like no thanks.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not a big flaxseed guy. This only has 3 stars. There's a lot of 1-star reviews.
Well, they
I want
probably
to see a
suck.
1-star. It says taste awful. These are nothing like a cracker.
They still sell rice cakes?
Of course they do. Rice cakes. They
Who
say these
eats
taste
rice cakes?
disgusting to hubby and I. They are like a piece of
Oh my
drywall.
god.
The
Delete that
package
lady.
the package
Amazon, delete
says
that lady.
the package says savory, and yes, it does have different flavor than the plain ones, but it wasn't a good flavor.
Do people eat
Just
rice cakes when like for fun or only specifically when they're trying to lose weight for
I
like a
don't know.
snack?
I kind of liked them because it was, but I think I liked whatever. I was such a hungry little boy that whatever we had in the house was like my favorite food. So my mom would stock rice cakes, knowing full well that I was going to eat these just at will. So of course I liked rice cakes, but
I want
nothing's
that to
in
be our popsicles header now. I was such a hungry little boy.
it.
Dot dot dot.
There's one that just says, just don't. I wanted something crunchy since I gave up carbs and thought these would be it. There's nothing in the world that I could put on these flackers that would ever make them edible.
Flackers.
Flackers.
You want to be flackers?
Brian says, and you are
Trackers.
you still? Wait, what is he? Is he saying, am I still a hungry little boy? Of course. And
You
you
look.
still are a hungry little boy. I'm always hungry.
Your shaved head makes you look more like a bear that you would see at Faultline and stuff.
Well, that's part of the idea.
Well, and now you have your little catchphrase, your gay catchphrase. I'm a hungry little boy.
All right, we got 5 gum, peppermint, cobalt, sugar-free gum. So someone's getting there, stocking up on.
Have you seen that gum commercial where it's like, wise men say, and it's like the progression of a relationship from high
Yes,
school to college. That's such a fucking sad commercial. And I feel like an idiot when at the end it shows a gum wrapper and it's like, buy this gum. It's
gum has
manipulative.
gotten so much fancier than when I was a young gum consumer.
Watching a lot of 90s commercials.
I miss
Is
Cineburst, man.
is Big Red still around?
I think so, but Cineburst was like a million times better than Big
Big
Red.
red freshness, go right through it.
Those
Make
commercials, it was always
it go
people
on and
kissing.
on.
So I was
While
like,
you chew it,
if
now you
I
can
chew Big
kiss a
Red
little longer, hold some hands a little
a little
longer.
longer, make it last long lasting fresh breath with
With
Big
Big
Red.
Red.
I used to chew Big Red, convinced like if I chew Big Red, I'm gonna kiss somebody.
Well, that's when I was a kid. I was convinced that any of those things would make me what they did in the commercial. Oh, poor little Brendo. Hungry Brendo is chewing his Big Red, hoping someone will give him a smooch.
All right, we got a Pelican 1560 case. I think this is like a camera case.
And that'll be your gay nickname,
What?
Big Red.
Big Red. Well, this is a $160 case. This is not a messing around case. This is like a gearbox.
Case for what?
It's very heavy duty for like camera equipment or like a tools. It's like one of those tough. It's got wheels. It's fancy. It looks very fancy. All right, we got Milkbone original dog treats for medium dogs.
You've definitely tasted dog treats, right? Because you were a kid that
100%.
did anything.
100%.
I haven't.
Cat
So
food.
you've eaten cat food.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my brother and I ate cat food
Like on purpose or because you needed to eat?
on purpose. And
Like
then
the
me
whole
because
thing? Or you tasted it?
I mean we ate
Well, Fancy Feast, they made
every
Fancy
once
Feast
in
look
a
really
while.
good.
If I was really feeling it, I just grab a handful, kind of snack on it a little bit. Then I made the mistake of trying to eat the like. My mom
You
had
got a
these.
urinary tract infection from all the dry cat food, didn't you?
There was these treats called Pounce, and they were kind of like wet little, and like my brother and I each ate one, and they were the most disgusting things we ever had in our lives.
Did you have cats?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have dogs?
No.
So you've never had
But
a sausage?
no, I never had a sausage, but we did. I did eat a dog, like a milk bone once, and it was kind of gross.
Did
And
you have
then we went to
a beggin strip?
no. We once went to SeaWorld. I did this Jewish community center day camp where we got to go to SeaWorld and like go back behind the scenes at SeaWorld. We got to play with penguins and like do all this other cool stuff. And one of the things they had us do was like eat some of the food they fed the animals. And like one of them, it was like dog food. And they're like, here, kids, eat this dog food. And we did.
You have to start the description of this episode. In this episode, Brendo eats dog food.
Yeah.
So you've eaten dog food then?
Yeah.
Have you eaten bird seed?
Yeah. But it was during this. It was during this thing at SeaWorld where like they had like bird seed and like dog food and
what is this SeaWorld thing where they're just feeding kids?
Well, it was like,
food?
Here's what the stuff we feed the animals. Try some of it.
Have you eaten fish food? The flakes?
No. Well, I think I tried to once and it was just really salty.
Trying to think of another pet food. Have you eaten like a live mouse?
No.
A full live mouse.
My friend ate a goldfish once.
Have you eaten like fish bait, like the eggs?
Well, fish eggs, that's like escargot.
Escargot is snails.
No, not escargot, but caviar. It's the same thing.
But sometimes they have the paste.
Yeah. Have
you had that?
Yeah, no. I didn't. I wouldn't. That stuff stinks. The fish bait stuff. It's like smelly.
Have you eaten a worm?
No, my brother has.
Have you eaten a grub?
I haven't. I've eaten. We did a grub. We did eat. It was like dried grubs. It was at the Knott's Trapped Maze. We had to eat them. They were like dried out though, and they were barbecue flavor.
Yeah, so you've eaten bugs.
And then I've had like crickets and stuff, like chicharrones, like at the Oaxacan restaurant. And like, you know,
the what? Like, the Oaxacan restaurant.
You never been to like a Oaxacan place and they have like crickets and stuff?
No, what is that?
Like it's a Mexican food where they eat bugs, you know?
No.
Chicharrones and you know, grasshoppers and crickets.
Have you eaten frogs?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm trying to think of other animals, but you pretty much got all of them.
Alligator.
I'm thinking pet food.
Okay.
Wow. Have you eaten those little like?
I haven't had the wet cat food. That stuff's no way. I couldn't do that.
No, sometimes they make fancy feasts look really good.
I know it always looks gross.
Have you had the little pellets they feed little mini turtles?
No.
Have you ever had the?
What is this? Like what?
What
did Brendo eat?
Have you ever had the pellets that they have at the petting zoo? You
yes.
A little handle. Why?
I definitely.
Why are you eating that?
Well, as a little kid, I definitely put one of those in my mouth.
And how was that?
It just tastes like probably like dog food. I don't remember.
What's your favorite pet food?
None of them really. I mean, the cat food's all right.
But in your dire straits, your financial straits, you've never gotten the 99-cent cat
food. No, man. I would get. You know what else is 99 cents? A bag of rice, a bag of pinto beans, a can of beans. I would eat all of those things before I ate. That doesn't even make sense. Like eating. I mean, because there's just as much protein in like a can of like refried beans, and it doesn't. It's not dog food.
But if you get the pedigree, you can like have a healthy coat.
Well, somebody bought some current resealable comic book bags, 100 count. Somebody's buying some bagging some books. Wonder if they bought boards.
Do you know that there's different sizes for current comics, Golden Age?
Is that why it's current? Is that why it's called current?
I guess because Golden Age and Silver Age have different sizes.
Yeah. Mr. Derek, I work at a comic book store and you know everything now. What else? What are some other insider tips
for comic book collecting?
I don't know that you've learned at in your job.
don't sell anything at my store, we'll fucking fleece you. That's my biggest tip.
You've like become like like what stuff is worth now.
I learned today because my boss told me go in the back and put some more posters out on the boards, and I found a Revenge of the Jedi advanced one sheet, you know?
Dang.
And so I'm like, huh.
You guys just had one of those lying around?
Yeah, so I looked at it and I'm like, I wonder if this is, I was trying to figure out how to price them. Like, I wonder if this is even real. And I looked up on all these nerd Star
That's
Wars
the first
boards.
thing you have to figure out is if it's real. Like,
So I looked up on all these nerd Star Wars boards on how to tell the fakes from the real ones. And it's a 1997 European bootleg. I could tell from the colors on it. And I told my boss, he's like, I paid a lot of money for this. I'm like, well,
maybe you should do better research. I
so
have a
I
valuable.
spotted a bootleg.
That's awesome. I have a valuable Star Wars. I have an Empire Strikes Back poster that was only distributed to members of the Star Wars fan club. In the condition it's in, I could probably get like a couple hundred for it. It's my aunt's.
I've actually learned a lot about bootleg lobby cards and people photocopying old posters.
It's a big racket. We also got Jason. It's capital Jason. I don't know if that's like an acronym, but it's purifying tea tree deodorant stick. So it's tea tree deodorant. It's like some
I just
fancy
watched
deodorant.
Charles Barkley used to be the right guard.
Yeah, he was the right guard. I bought right guard because Charles Barkley endorsed it. No joking.
Because the clear.
Yeah, the clear gel. I was
Anything
all about that.
less would be uncivilized.
Yes, that was my deodorant. You know who else was a right guard guy until he got involved in massive scandals?
Phil?
Hulk Hogan.
Oh. It was a block of comedy
because of all the steroid scandals.
It was a block of Comedy Central programming from the early 90s when Penn Jillette was doing all the narration. Mark Maron had like a soup type show.
Yeah. It was
back then.
short attention span theater. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know your Mark Maron.
I used to watch that show.
Wow. They used to have things like MCI presents Penn and Teller or the Doritos stand-up hour.
They had all kinds of crazy programming.
And it was all Mystery Science Theater 3000. Like that was like 80% of their programming.
Mystery Science Theater and SNL reruns and Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the Hall.
And that's like we watched and Absolutely Fabulous and
Dr. Katz.
Like all that stuff. And I just ate that up. Up.
Zapped Again. They would play a lot. And Soul Man.
Soul Man was on all the time. So it's so weird seeing like C. Thomas Howell badass in E.T. Because he's Keys.
I asked no, C. Thomas Howell's one of the kids.
No, he's one. I thought he was Keys. No, Keys is different. Never mind.
Peter Coyote.
Yeah, C. Thomas Howell is one of the kids, but he's still a badass. He's like a badass kid.
I asked Andrew the View in the Benview Network to be on a new podcast with me. You turned me down last time. It would be me and Andrew delving into the world of Black Twitter. And I would want the logo to be the Soul Man poster, but Andrew as Soul Man.
No.
I don't think he would do it.
No way.
But
I once caused a ruckus. I think I've talked about this. I caused a ruckus on our college campus.
Oh, what did you do?
For the Spice Rack, I put my friend Jonathan photoshopped my face onto. He cut out Ginger Spice's face and put my face and Ginger. And for a Christian college to have a dude like as Ginger Spice, it was very. They didn't make me take down the flyers, but there was definitely people that wanted me to take down.
There was commotion.
There was definitely a commotion.
I thought you were going to say you were Scary Spice.
No, I'm not that stupid. I might have been dumb and 18, but it was my face on Ginger Spice's body.
I was listening to a selection of 90s pop on my way to work today, and Spice Girls definitely stands out as, the
They're
best
great.
ones out of
It
that.
holds up, man. I think they hold up. I mean, of that time, because you also had like Bewitched and which they were all right. Billy
18s.
Piper, 18s. 18s are all right. Billy Piper, I was a big Billy Piper fan, and does she still sing? I know she's like, I mean, she's an actress and everything, but she's really good. That was all around that time.
The reason I wanted to delve into Black Twitter is because when that whole Color Purple thing exploded, this guy posted a picture. This is me and my timeline gearing up to defend Color Purple, and it was a picture of every Black Power Ranger like together. I thought that was funny.
All right, we got BCW Supplies, current size comic boards. Oh, so here's the boards. There we go. They bought boards. All right,
Very important, so that your comics don't bend.
Yes. We got cinnamon sticks, Cylon 3, certified organic fair trade. So it's cinnamon sticks. So you got an Amazon gift card, birthday peeps. Buy your Amazon gift cards through our link. It helps us out. I have a lot of Amazon money right now for my birthday.
That's
Gotta
nice.
figure out what I'm gonna do.
You're probably gonna buy some wrestling thing.
No, they don't have a lot of like wrestling things that I would want.
Andrew, okay, we'll get Andrew's live reaction to this. Okay, Andrew, are you listening?
He says, "Oh God, what?"
So you didn't respond to this, but I tweeted you that I wanted to start a podcast with you where you and I delve into the issues of Black Twitter every week.
No.
No, hold on. That's not. Well, what do you say to just that? Because I think I got what would push it. The logo to the podcast would be you as the Soul Man poster as C. Thomas Howell.
Terrible.
I think why are we the wrong people for that?
Because the color of your skin. White people should not be talking.
I'm not white.
Have some kind of black pod. Even a white non-black people should not have a podcast talking about Black Twitter.
It would be pro-Black Twitter.
Either way,
I support a lot of Black issues.
That's not. You have that no.
All right, Brendo declines for you.
And you definitely shouldn't be putting Andrew's face on the Soul Man poster.
No, I would pay for a special photo session where we would flat out
Andrew. So basically, you're saying you should put Andrew in blackface, is what you're saying.
You don't have to be the host. You can be the co-host.
No. That's 100% no. As Brian says, it's a trap. The whole thing's a trap.
Well, I do love Black Twitter, and Andrew says that he supports it as well.
I mean, we all support Black Twitter, but that doesn't mean we should have a podcast talking about it.
All right, I'm just trying to break the barriers.
Let alone putting Andrew in blackface.
All right.
All right, we got Pampers Under Jams bedtime underwear girls size small. So
now we're talking about kids' underwear.
Buying those Pampers.
Oh, okay.
We got Bali Secrets natural deodorant, organic and vegan for women, all day fresh. So people are buying these fancy deodorants on there.
That organic stuff never works. You need chemicals. Right? I mean, this is
I don't know, man.
We're talking about here.
I don't trust. I mean, I know. I'm a degree man myself. I know that's what I need.
I have Old Spice, Sport, Endurance, High Endurance.
Our last Amazon item. We got Fast Snail Joy-Con grips, wear-resistant Joy-Con handle for the Nintendo Switch 2-pack. I was thinking about using my Amazon money for Nintendo Switch, but then I remembered that.
How much money do you have?
Well, I have $150, so I'd still need to spend a lot more money, and I really don't want to do that. And also,
how much is a Nintendo Switch?
Well, it's $299, but then they got to buy a game. And
did you hear that Lynch bought one and then immediately tripped on it and broke it? He ordered one and immediately broke it.
How did he trip
just tripped on one of the wires, I guess.
That's bad. Did you get it fixed?
I don't know.
That's a bummer. Well, I realized that I don't really need one because I would never play it, and also Nintendo kind of sucks. Still,
speaking
mad
of
about
consoles,
that NES Classic thing.
I looked up the Atari Jaguar today because Atari announced this week that they're gonna have another
They're gonna
console
have
line.
something. I think it's gonna be like an Atari, like are you gonna be able to play old Atari games or something? I don't
Well,
think
they
it's gonna
said
be
it's
like
gonna be like a PC-esque. They want PC
oh
gamers.
well, so it's gonna be like a Steam box or something. Who
It's called the
knows?
Atari Box.
So it'll be like a Steam box, but Atari box, and it'll probably be able to play Atari games too and whatever.
Well, the last Atari console they made
The
was
Jaguar,
the Jaguar.
which has a ridiculous controller, and it was insanely expensive.
Did you ever play one?
Yeah, I mean, like my friend had one, and then I would go play it at the mall just because I really liked the Alien versus Predator game that they had
Which is
on
their
there.
most popular
It
game?
was definitely their flagship game. There was
But it
also
was
like,
a Doom ripoff.
yeah, but it was different enough, and it had the cool. You could be the alien, and you could be the predator. You didn't just have to be the
And you
space
can be a
marine.
Marine.
Yeah, and
And they had a Mortal Kombat ripoff called Kitsu Ninja.
yeah, they also had like a Tempest and like some
But
other
they
things,
claimed that it was 64 bits, but it was actually
but
a
it was not.
32-bit
It was a
processor
32-bit
with
system.
some numbers fudged.
Yeah. Yes.
And I remember
And the controller is ridiculous.
it's like a remote control,
Yeah.
kind of. It's like a Genesis controller with
With like a million buttons
TV
on it.
remote taped onto the bottom of it because
Yeah.
there's a keypad for some reason.
It's very clunky. It's very clunky.
I
And at the
remember
time
being
and it was just so expensive.
well, I remember being at KB once towards the very end, and it was on sale for $30.
Whoa.
And
I would have bought it for $30.
I know, but then I would have found games anywhere, and it would have been a waste of $30.
Yeah, but you could have gotten cheap games if they had a bunch of closeout games.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have been. It probably would have felt like a waste at the time. Anyway,
I mean, it's not that good. Like it kind of sucks.
Andrew brought the Neo Geo at the end of its life cycle. His parents returned.
Oh, dude. Well, that thing. Talk about an insanely the Neo Geo when it came out. My brother and I rented it. The Neo Geo was like $800. The games were like over $100.
But it was like a Game Gear kind of thing.
No. It was a console system but it was an arcade because the Neo Geo arcade machines. It was basically the same. It was arcade perfect. It was the same thing, the same system that ran in the arcades. It was a home version of that. That's why it was so insanely expensive. But he said the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Okay, so they did have a portable system, the Neo Geo Pocket, which is a great system. If they got all those cool SNK fighting games and stuff, it's a great system.
I read about the Atari Lynx and how they wanted to.
That was hot garbage,
but it sold well,
which is crazy because the battery life on that thing was terrible.
It took 6 batteries as opposed to Game Boy's 4 and drained it. But my Game Gear drained batteries so much that I needed an adapter.
Oh yeah, all those things were battery draining machines. Only the Game Boy had like good battery life because it was black and white.
The Atari Lynx, Atari wanted to name their consoles after cats, but they only got to 2 of them. They were originally going to do a 32-bit console called the Panther that got canceled, and they went straight to 64-bit.
Except that was they didn't because they didn't have a 64-bit system. Brian says the Sega Master System was pretty great. It is pretty great. There's a lot of good games. It just got completely overshadowed by the NES.
So that came out around the time the NES did.
The Sega Master System and NES were like contemporaries, and NES just destroyed. It's completely destroyed.
What's your favorite console of all time?
Probably a Super Nintendo.
I like the Nintendo 64.
I never had one. My brother had one, but like that was after. Like I had a whole chunk of time, like when I was in college, where like we had a Nintendo 64 in the dorm, but I didn't personally own it, so I didn't play it a ton. But like, because like in college, I didn't have a TV most of the time. I didn't have a console. And then my brother gave me his PlayStation, so I had that. But then in college, when I went to Missouri, I left everything at home. So I didn't have any. There was like 3 or 4 years where I really didn't play video games. but I we did play a lot of GoldenEye my freshman year of college at Biola, and it
That's
kind
probably the
of
greatest game of all time.
it's amazing. 4-player GoldenEye, there is nothing like that.
Why don't
Like
they?
it's
You know how they have at arcades giant Connect Four and giant
yeah.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Since arcades can utilize big technology, why don't they just make big 4-player GoldenEye an arcade
I
game?
mean, there are some that have like FPS games, but it's just people FPS players want to play on their computer or like they're not social people, so it's not appealing. I don't know.
We
I don't know.
played Mario Kart.
Yeah, we played Mario
I
Kart. That
thought,
was fun.
what's the? Do you remember what the name of it was?
What?
The name of the Mario Kart game?
Well, it's Mario Kart Arcade GP or something. I don't
And
know.
then we put our faces in a little avatar.
Yeah, and it's got the Namco stuff, so it has like Pac-Man, and I was like the little drum guy. I don't know. It was
And
fun.
I got third place out of the 4 people that were playing.
I got second.
I was ahead a lot. No, you got
Yeah.
fourth.
No, you got fourth.
No, I got third.
I did not get fourth. I got second.
That's I don't know about that,
I definitely did not get fourth.
but we'll go back, and I want to play that more. That's my favorite game there at the Dave and Buster's, I think.
I didn't do the Star Wars Battle Pod. I heard that's pretty cool.
I wanted to do the Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but they'd
I
always
do want to
break.
do the Rock'em Sock'em Robots. It's not cheap. The air hockey is not cheap either.
I played the Pac-Man. What's
The
it called?
Pac-Man air hockey is the best
Pac-Man
one.
Battle Royale, but it used to do this, but it used to periodically through your 4-way air hockey game just shoot like
Yeah,
50 little
that's
pucks
that's what the
into you.
Pac-Man air hockey does. Pac-Man Battle Royale is a totally different thing.
Oh
Pac-Man Battle
right.
Royale is not a hockey game.
It's the four
It's a
player
four-player.
Pac-Man
You
game.
fight each other. The I don't think I didn't see the Pac-Man air hockey at that
They did have
place.
it there, but
Okay.
it's kind of broken now. Maybe they took it away, but
They
I
did
had played
have
it there.
they had a 6-player they had like a 6-player trivia game, which I've only seen the 4-player one.
That's where you rack up the most tickets. I found
I can get oh yeah, because if you start winning that jackpot, if you can get
if
6
other
people on
people are
there,
playing, yeah.
and if you can get all the people, and I remember me and Phil on Phil's birthday, we got enough tickets for Phil to be able to get a Wii game.
Wow.
Because we just destroyed. I one time I went to John's and Crow Pizza by myself because I was supposed to go with my friends, but then I couldn't go. But then I had this Groupon that I bought, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna use it still. So I went to John's Incredible Pizza and I ate the pizza buffet, and it's
What's it called?
John's Incredible Pizza.
That seems like a fake place.
It's really good. They have them
Where
all
is it?
over. They have one in Buena Park. They have one in
I want to
Victorville.
go.
They have one in Moreno Valley. You'd
Sounds
like it.
like a Chuck E. Cheese type place.
It's except the food is a million times better. The food is actually really good. They have like all kinds of great pizza, and they have like cinnamon rolls, and it's a buffet, and they have like you can get root beer floats,
Remember when
and
Shakey's was like a place you'd want to go? And now that we're
yeah.
adults, we like never go to Shakey's for
I
their
went to
bunch of
Shakey's in Palm
lunch.
Springs.
We never go to bunch of lunch. I never go
Yeah.
to bunch of lunch.
I haven't.
Remember the radio
The
ads that were
last time
like
I went was in Palm Springs.
the last time I went was during an editing retreat weekend. A bunch of us was like, let's fuck it, let's just go to Shakey's. And do you remember like the radio ads were like Adam's Family, but with bunch of lunch for the Wednesday hump day? Like it was cheaper on a Wednesday
Yeah.
if you went to go to the lunch buffet. And Shaky tried to make Mojo potatoes like a popular thing, but
Mojo
nobody really,
potatoes are great. I'm a big fan.
but nobody else has those.
Well, because they're a Shakey's thing.
I know,
That's
but
their
if
signature.
it was really popular, it would be bootlegged and
There's
copied.
other places that have potatoes kind of like that. Well, in
See it.
other things, we've got Comic-Con coming up on July 19th through 23rd. Are you like scraping your microphone?
No.
Making a lot of scraping. I hear scraping noises. Like there it is right there. It's doing it right now.
You're scraping.
Nope.
Well, there's your noises.
Brian tweeted scraping his nose. Oh. you scraping your nose?
No, but you just did.
Yeah. All right, we got also. Don't forget to check out mountainroomescapes.com. Use the code Radio BrendoMan for $5 off. That's in Big Bear, California. If you want to do cool room escape,
There's a lot of
Etsy.com.
fires there right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Etsy.com/shop/crew.
What if Phil's parents' house is in danger and they're in Europe? Is it being taken care of?
Well, I don't think the fire is not like in Big Bear City.
Okay. But what happens if they're not there during some...
Well, what would they be able to put out the fire if they were there? Like, what do you mean? That's good that they're not going to be there if their house burns down. But San Diego Comic-Con is well, Brian just asked, would you ever attend the Tucson Comic-Con? It's in November. If it's a Wizard Con, probably not. Because I think the Tucson one might be a Wizard one. I know there's Phoenix Comic-Con, which is an independent show, but
it's so hot in Phoenix now that planes can't take off.
I know. I don't know. Brian lives in Tucson, and I guess if you're from there, you can handle it. But I don't know. It's sort of hot.
Emma Stone's from Arizona.
I didn't know that. Where in Arizona?
Scottsdale.
That means because that's like the rich place.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard this weekend from other people that live in Arizona.
It is. It's the rich area. Brian says it was 116 degrees today. Ugh.
Jesus Christ.
It's hot here, and that sounds horrible. I went to PWG on Friday, and it was 100 degrees outside.
What if you die from heat stroke outside of a wrestling event?
That'd be great.
At what point does your health come into play if you can't go to wrestling shows anymore?
What do you mean? Why would I not be able to go to wrestling shows anymore?
What if, like, you get a heart condition and you just can't handle the excitement?
That'd be horrible.
But you'd do it, right? Or do you keep going until your heart stops?
I don't know. That sounds like that's an awful scenario. I would go.
I would Brendo.
If I can't do
some weird heat stroke outside of Reseda. They should think more about their audience.
We're fine, and you just stay hydrated.
Because how many hours are you out there in the sun?
Well, I was only out there for like an hour, but other people are out there for longer. But we'll see what happens for Battle of Los Angeles. Or there's a show next month, and I don't know, in July. But I might not even be able to get tickets to that, so who knows? But you know what else
inside?
Is
in?
It's slightly air conditioned. Oh man,
God.
It gets real hot in there.
No, thank you.
Well, you're not going. I'm not inviting you.
Could a wrestling show get too hot for you?
Well, yeah, if it gets like so hot that I can't even it's not even comfortable or fun. But I've been in there for Bola when it's like at least it's over 100 degrees and everybody's sweating, but
oh my God,
you just get used to it and it's fun. I don't know. I'm enjoying the show, but let's move on and talk about Comic-Con, July 19th through 23rd. We're going to be doing our Webcomics Advocates panel there. So more details to be announced. Are you excited for Comic-Con, Derek?
I am.
Are you going to bring the snacks again? Are you doing the snacks?
That's right. I'll hold up my end of the deal. That's the least I could do for all of the free stuff you guys are giving me.
I guess we talked about this last time, but you were going to go with Capri Suns this year, right?
Definitely.
I mean, I was fine with the Cool Jammers, but upon further evaluation,
they were very bland. They just tasted like water to me.
Well, because the only good Kool-Aid jammers were the Great Blue Dini, and I don't think they have those anymore. They had Great Blue Dini.
Going with the Capri Sun.
I like what's the Maui Punch Capri Sun? I think it's Maui Punch. They still have that.
Pacific Cooler. I'll probably go with.
Cooler's great too. They still make.
That's their flagship flavor, not Maui. I don't know. I'll look. I usually get a High C and a Capri Sun.
Dude, get the orange high C so we can at least have it. That way we'll have orange drink.
Because then you can drink it for breakfast too.
Orange lava burst high C, baby.
I wish I could have found.
They still have. I went to the McDonald's in Ukaipa. They have one box left.
Did you like offer all this money for it?
I just asked them. I'm like, how long till we're out of the orange lava burst? I said we have one more box.
I wish I could have found Ecto Cooler High C boxes for last year's Comic Con.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I never found them.
They had them in North Hollywood somewhere. Because remember, I was going to go drive up there, and then you're like, you should have called me. And I'm like, I should have called you. What was I thinking? It was New Year's Eve. If I had called you at like 8 p.m. on New Year's Eve, like, Derek, I know where the Ecto Cooler boxes are. Let's go. Would you have abandoned your New Year's Eve plans?
Now that I've been through it, yes. Now, from last year's, yes, I would have abandoned it.
But while you were in it, though, before it happened,
even in it, I probably would have given it serious
you were
consideration.
At like some amazing party.
I wasn't. That's why I would be considering.
What if you were? And I'm
that's a different story.
I found the Ecto Cooler boxes. Come pick me up. Now I'm doing the Brendo voice.
Snake is eating its tail.
Well, we've also got Comic-Con Palm Springs coming up August 25th through 27th. Got a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Live radio, BrendoMan, MBWS. We got Long Beach Comic-Con coming up September 2nd through the 3rd. We'll also
That's
be
like
doing
a week. It's like a week after, right?
It is the week after. It's a lot of stuff. Also, LA Podfest, October 6th through the 8th. And yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on. I officiated a wedding on Monday at the Disneyland Hotel. It was great. It was a beautiful wedding. Friends Shada and Brandon. And they had Dole Whip cake, which was the best cake I've ever had in my entire life.
Did you have to write a little speech or something?
You
start all your weddings with marriage.
Well, actually, I started this one with that because Shada requested me to do it. I didn't do the voice.
I wonder if people do that a lot.
I think they do because when I looked it up online, there was like 100 YouTube videos. Because I just needed the transcript of the words, and there's a lot. So I think it's very common. And then I just kind of go through the service, and I do a reading. So I picked a poem, about love.
If I were you, I would have sang Sleep to Dream by Fiona Apple. I don't know. I just think it would be funny for you to sing that.
What?
I kept my man on the ground, and I don't go to sleep to dream.
Why would I sing that at somebody's wedding?
I don't know.
You want me to sing that at your wedding?
Yes. You're basically just going to be in the corner with a playlist.
And
we'll be.
You're breaking up big time. Sorry, maybe it's on my end. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I lost you there for a second. Crap. What did you say?
This is bad. I said I'm going to hire Andrew to be Soul Man at my wedding.
Oh. Why would you do that?
And you're going to be in a glass case.
Your wedding is just you humiliating your friends?
Andrew's not for sale.
Oh, yeah, we're doing the Reef show. It's the week before Comic-Con Palm Springs. Phil's a maybe, so we'll see. I'll convince him to do it. He'll need the money.
If it's, I mean, this is, I guess, not a private conversation, but I think that price for 4 would be my maximum.
Yeah.
So.
You got to get Phil in.
Or somebody.
All right. Well,
because I don't even really have anything to sell.
Well, then, sure you do. You always got stuff to sell.
But it's like you said, it'll be a fun time.
All right. Well, the other thing that happened, so I had the wedding, and the Dole Whip cake was great. They also had like an awesome buffet, like steak and these awesome the Disneyland, like the mashed potatoes they have at like the Blue Bayou.
Oh my God! So they had Disneyland food.
Yes, it was Disneyland food, dude.
Ugh.
Okay, it was, yeah, that Dole. I told you they had a Dole Whip fucking cake, man. It was amazing, and it's the only place you can get the Dole Whip cake is at a Disney wedding, and
I probably
and
should have.
and
Probably
then
should have
I
gone.
invited you. I invited
I
you.
know, but you know,
They had an open bar with these awesome
Jesus
rum
Christ.
cocktails, and and dude, when so the wedding got out, and then they brought us over to the reception area. See you later, Brian. He's going to bed, and thank you for joining us. And so they bring us in there after the wedding. The ceremony's over, and then we're waiting to set up. And so there's like this hallway, and there's tables, and there's a buffet table, and it's the Mickey Mouse pretzels
Oh my
and like
God.
and like mustard and stuff. It was awesome.
So this is a Disney wedding that
The
anybody can
Disney
get.
wedding. Yeah, but I mean they're not cheap. And then they had a buffet set up in the actual wedding, and it was like this. There's like steak and the mashed potatoes from like the Blue Bayou, and there was just the food was so good. It was so amazing, and the DJ was cool. There was a belly dancer, and they did a lot of Persian dancing because Shada's family is Persian, and it was like really fun.
Did you
And
dance?
yeah, I did like some of the like I don't know Persian. Everybody gets in
You
circles
did
and
you
dances
did a belly
around.
dancing thing?
Not like a belly dancing thing, but like you move your hands around and you go dance around in a circle and stuff.
I think about the scene in Heavyweights when they're all dancing and that kid in the beret is like doing the Vogue. That's what I see. That's what I see you doing.
And then I went to PWG and James Franco was there and I gave him a high five. That was awesome, and I
You
almost
kind of
cried.
stalked him, right?
I went up to like I was standing nearby him and he high
For
fived
like
me.
a period of like you were waiting, right?
Well, I went up and I said hi to Chris Bauer from True Blood, who he was with, and I had met him before, and he actually, and so we talked for like a, and then and then James Franco was right there, and I was like, "How'd you like the show?" He's like, "It was great," and he high fived me, and you know,
Did you
it was
feel
cool.
like Carlos the Dwarf was, like you were accepted by the cool kids?
Yeah, well, he seemed to really be into PWG, and I hope he comes back. So we'll see. It was really cool. What is that? Oh, it's Mario. Why is everybody coming in not muted, even though I set it to? Oh, it's because they're all coming in on mobile devices. Gosh, the mobile Hangouts app is like weird because I can't. I don't know. I don't get it. Um, and then we already talked about on my birthday. We went to Hollywood and saw ET. I went to on Saturday. I went to Empire Wrestling in Fontana. That was a lot of fun. And just met
You
up,
ever get
talked
bored
to.
of like wrestling moves?
No,
But is it like
I
the
mean,
same moves all the time?
well, that's a good wrestling match. Is they mix it up so it's not boring, and if it's a good match, I'm not bored, and I'm usually not bored.
So
If I do get
you
bored, it's a bad match.
so most of them are
I look for the good, and I'm like, oh,
do
that's
you get
good.
some do you get some duds
Oh yeah,
occasionally?
always. That always happens, of course. I mean, I've seen good guys, wrestlers that I like, have boring matches. So yeah, that was fun. And then going to
Would you ever
Tijuana
like
on.
go to like a high school wrestling, like an actual Olympic wrestling?
I mean, I'm not really into that, so probably
That seems
not.
like something a grandma would give you tickets to, like, oh, Brendo likes wrestling, and then
I
all of a sudden you're at a
mean, I
collegiate
used to.
final.
I've watched amateur wrestling. It's exciting to watch sometimes.
Would you watch backyard wrestling?
I mean, back in the day, I used to
No,
go.
but like you used to go to them.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's just normal dudes, right?
yeah. Like people in the neighborhood, or like when I was in
They try to
college.
pull you in.
No, I was never interested in doing that. This was stupid. But I remember in college, I'd heard about some backyard wrestling going on in LA, and some of those guys ended up becoming like actual wrestlers, but a lot of them just got hurt and were stupid. But yeah, what about you? What have you been up to besides the we went to the movies on
Not
Sunday?
much.
See any what's the what anything what's good? What
I saw
movies? What'd you
Cars
see?
3.
You like that?
I cried.
Yeah,
And Michael Keaton's character is in it, but it's not him.
that's a bummer.
But the Click and Clack guys are in it, and one of them's been dead for 3 years.
Yeah, but they've got. I mean, you think about all the audio they probably have. They were able to.
But that's like very specific to the plot. Like they those characters are specific to the plot.
Hmm.
Paul Newman's in it. Um, Big Boo from Orange is the New Black plays like
Hmm.
a demolition derby bus. Nathan Fillion is like a villain,
Wow.
a Fillion villain.
Any other movies you seen? Anything people
I
should be
saw
looking out
Rough
for?
Night.
How was that? A lot of people seem to
They
not
should
like that.
really like. Why isn't Jennifer Lawrence in comedies? Think about it. Isn't she supposed to be funny?
Maybe she doesn't want to
Why?
be. She's
I
she
think her
said
agents
she
are
doesn't
keep.
want to be in comedies.
She was in. Do you remember she was in Dumb and Dumber 2 and her agents took her out of it?
Yeah.
Like she filmed stuff and they had them take it out. That's crazy. There's something going on. Something's up. Why wouldn't she want to be in comedy? She's like a fun girl.
Maybe she doesn't. She's an actress and she wants to try. She wants to do dramatic things.
Something's up.
The thing that's up is that she doesn't want to do comedies.
I don't. I think she does, but I think her agents are trying to keep her away from that.
You act like she's like imprisoned.
Well, you know how it could be.
I don't know.
Your
I
your management is trying to steer you one way. I just saw in the '90s commercials block a commercial for Getting Even with Dad, which is the notorious
mhm.
movie that
Long-haired Macaulay Culkin.
his dad forced him to do. He had no interest in, and he got like his biggest payday. Like he got the
Did he
Home
get like
Alone money for it.
$20 million for that
It
or
wasn't
something?
that much, but it was like half that.
Or how much did he get for Richie Rich?
I think that was like the last one. So probably like nine.
God, that's crazy. Well, I finished Rilla of Ingleside. It
What?
was I finished the book Rilla of Ingleside. It was the last in the 8 book Anne of Green Gables series.
Who's the Rilla?
That's her. Rilla is her daughter.
So it's more about her daughter than it is her.
Yes, but
So
she's
it's
in
the
it.
is it the final chapter that wraps everything up?
Pretty much, it's really depressing because it takes place during World War I.
Is it sad that Phil isn't here for you to talk about it?
We'll talk about it when he gets back, probably, because he hasn't even finished the. He's like on the 4th book, so
Is there any big revelations at the end?
I mean, not revelations, but stuff. Huge things happen. People
Like what?
die. I don't want to give it away. People might be reading.
Does Anne die? Just tell me if
N-
Anne does.
Not in that book, but I'm sure she dies eventually.
Because remember how some people couldn't handle if Ron, Hermione, and Harry would die, so they like looked at the end just to make sure they survived.
Yeah, no, Anne doesn't die. I mean, but other members of the family do.
Does her Voldemort? What's her Voldemort villain?
She doesn't have a Voldemort villain.
There's no villain through the 8 books.
I mean, not a villain per se. There's adversaries, there's antagonists.
Is it like smallpox?
Well, tuberculosis.
Does she defeat tuberculosis in the end?
I mean, it's dealt with, you know. I don't know. So I also read Phil got me for Christmas,
Is there a
and
big
I
battle at the Green Gables?
no.
What's a gable?
A gable is it's at the in the side of a house, like the two beams. like the end of a house.
Okay. And so that
Um,
was her house then.
yes. Um,
Did it
so
get destroyed or is it left standing by the end?
still there. Not everything is like a big summer epic movie. Um, but Phil got me for Christmas last year. I think he got it for me for Christmas, a Goosebumps book. Because he goes to these Scholastic sales, and this one is called "The 12 Screams of Christmas," and it was pretty goofy. This girl can see ghosts, and she goes on a school trip to a haunted house, which I don't understand why they're going to a haunted house for a school trip. Um, but and then she sees the ghosts of these kids, and then I don't know, somehow they turn her into a ghost, and then then somehow she is able to save. It's like The Ring. She saves this girl from a well. It's like a kiddie version of The Ring. It's weird. And I read that in like a day because it's real short, but it was fun. Goosebumps are pretty goofy. And then I finished Chronicles of Avonlea, which is not part of the 8-book series. It's a series of short stories about other inhabitants of
It's like the
Avonlea.
Fantastic Beasts of Anne
Yes.
of Green Gables universe.
Yes. So I read that, and now I'm currently reading Further Chronicles of Avonlea. It's pretty good. Derek, you said you're reading Shop Girl.
Uh-huh.
Do you like it?
It's about loneliness and depression in the Los Angeles, so I love it.
Have you seen the movie?
That's the movie when I was tearing tickets at ArcLight. That movie opened on my first day. And on
Mm-hmm.
my third day, I was taking tickets, and Kirsten Dunst came in, Ava Mendes came in, and the last one to come in was Jenny Lewis, and I couldn't say anything. And then I waited, and my shift ended, and I waited to when their movie came out, and I talked to her in the lobby. I'm like, I just want to say that I love your music, blah blah blah. And I was telling her about how I write to it, and she's like starting to tell me, oh, if you like writers, then you should really see Capote. We just saw it, blah blah. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm in a real conversation with Jenny Lewis right now. I didn't know what to do. And then when she's like, yeah, you should go see it after talking about it for like a minute or so, and I'm like, I think I'm just gonna see Shock Girl, and she's like, oh my god. And then she like, it was funny though. It's fun times.
I met Jenny Lewis at that record store next to UCB.
She told me about that. She was like,
She's there. She's there all the time.
she's like, did you know about this guy named Brendo?
Oh, I thought you were being serious.
He's like, she's always like breathing hard near me. Always got a power glove on. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, I don't know that person yet, but I will in 4 years.
We met in like 2008.
In Anne of Green Gables, the spinoff, do they connect to characters that are in the
Oh
core
yeah,
books?
Anne pops in and out of the stories, like in other things. Yeah, it's like tangentially related. Um, yeah, so that's what I've been reading. We don't really have time to talk about TV. I mean, I pretty much just have been watching MST3K on Netflix. I got the last one. They had some really bizarre movies, and they're really funny. And I think Jonah Ray does a really good job.
You were talking about how they went on a field trip to a haunted house. When I tell people that we used to go on field trips to McDonald's, people laugh at me. Is
I went
that
on a field trip to McDonald's. I did that. I 100% did that.
what happened? Was that if everybody, read a poem or something, like everybody that did a certain amount of work, like every couple of months we would go to McDonald's. We
Oh,
didn't get
we
we
did
didn't
like an
get
actual field trip to McDonald's, where we got to go like in the kitchen and shit.
that. I didn't in when I was really little because it was the week before the Back to the Future cartoon toys came out, and they're like, "Do you want to see what the toys are next week?" And oh
Ooh.
my god, and the kids were like, "Oh my god!" And he showed me the Back to the Future toys. I'm like, "Good Christ!"
I had like because that was the one that had like they were Back to the Future 3, right?
No, they were the animated series
Oh,
toys.
because animated series. Because I remember I had the train.
There was a train, there was the DeLorean, and Marty on the
Yeah.
hoverboard. But anyway, you guys remember Phil had said that he misses the big and tasty, which I think was the grossest
I know, right? It was
that
horrible.
McDonald's ever had. It looked like there was like toothpaste in it.
Yeah,
But I
it was
remember
gross.
on one particular trek
Phil
to
just likes it because he's cheap.
was
And he
it
was like a
cheap?
big, cheap burger, and he likes cheap things.
Do you remember the contents of it? Should I look it up?
It's like the same as a Whopper, wasn't it?
Well, there's a really gross white and red sauce to it. Hold on.
Yeah, the big and tasty sauce was gross.
So one particular outing, there's this one table of kids that all got big and tasties and McFlurries, and they
Mhm.
all four of them ended up puking their guts out on the way back home.
Man, did
Big
they get
and
food
tasty.
poisoning or something from
I don't know.
McDonald's?
It's just too much
They just eat too
grossness.
much food. My brother, there was a kid that we dared some kid on a youth group trip to eat two 20-piece chicken nuggets. I don't think it was my brother. Maybe it was my brother. Somebody ate 40 chicken nuggets and then they ended up throwing up on the bus.
Well, I remember when 20 chicken McNuggets came out, and I was like, I can eat 20, and then around 15, you're starting to feel weird.
That was my brother's. Like, my brother could eat a 20-piece, like, no problem.
Okay, the Big and Tasty is a cheeseburger sold by the international fast food chain McDonald's. It is designed to compete with the Burger King Whopper sandwich.
Yeah.
A similar variation called the Big Tasty without the center N was first released in Jordan.
Hmm.
If you look at the picture that Wikipedia has, it looks like they scooped up a mound of trash with two bun halves. It looks gross.
It was not good. Phil is nuts.
I'm trying to product description. It contains a seasoned quarter-pound beef patty with ketchup, mayonnaise, slivered onions, 2 dill pickle slices, leaf lettuce, and 1 tomato slice on a sesame seed
Yeah, it was
bun.
ketchup and mayonnaise. Like
Yeah,
a,
ketchup and mayonnaise together is the gross
well,
part.
that's like on a Whopper. It's like a
I
Whopper.
always ask for no mayonnaise on a
I
Whopper.
never get mayonnaise on any burger because I don't know. I've had a thing against mayonnaise ever since I saw him. I saw a thing on, like, I saw a demonstration at the fair on how they make mayonnaise, and I knew what mayonnaise was, but then just watching it, it was so gross, and it's just so much oil, and it's just pure fat. It's so
Strang loves
bad for
mayonnaise.
you. It's so bad for you.
Remember that kid on Maury Povich that was just running around with a big tub of mayonnaise, eating it with a spoon?
Well, I remember there was a lady on My Strange Addiction that just like ate mayonnaise like ice cream. There was another lady that did the same thing with tartar sauce, and she would take Oreo cookies, take out the cream, and then fill it with tartar sauce and make tartar sauce Oreo sandwiches.
My mom used to make burgers with mayonnaise. That's weird.
It's a pretty standard burger ingredient.
Is it? I think it doesn't feel right.
What do you think spread? What do you think's in like spread, like Thousand Island dressing?
But that's not mayonnaise.
It's
That's
like
Thousand
ketchup
Island
and
dressing.
mayonnaise. Yeah, but Thousand Island dressing is like ketchup and mayonnaise.
Is that what it is?
Pretty much?
No, I don't think so. That can't be true. If that's the case, then the Big and Tasty would be as big as the spread on In-N-Out. Most dressings start out with mayo. Steve Espinosa says. I don't know.
Yeah, it's mayonnaise and ketchup. Sorry.
Is it?
Yeah, mayonnaise and ketchup. Yes.
Hold on. I gotta look this up for myself.
The main ingredients of Thousand Island dressing are mayonnaise and ketchup. And then you put like some other stuff in it.
Well, yeah. Hold on. Thousand Island.
I'm looking at it right now.
Would you like to visit the Thousand Island one day? I would. It's a condiment: mayonnaise, olive oil, lemon juice, orange juice, paprika, Worcestershire sauce, mustard, vinegar, cream, chili sauce, tomato puree, ketchup, and Tabasco sauce. Well, that's a lot of stuff, though. It's not just.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's a lot of mayonnaise. It's mostly mayonnaise. And I'm just not down with that, man.
So you don't like In-N-Out spread?
No, I like In-N-Out spread. But I can handle that. I don't know. Weird. But you know what's not weird is it's time. It is Marmaduke time. We got to wrap this up.
Embrace the marm.
Embrace the marm, baby. Embrace the
How
Duke.
come now that you have time, why don't you take over the brick chasing duties?
Well, Phil already has it locked down, so we're good. Just we'll see what happens. All right. So Dot is standing at the door, and Marmaduke's got a very confused look on his face.
What are the names of the kids?
I forgot the kids' names.
Who's Dot?
Oh, it's Billy and Barbie. The kids are Billy and Barbie, and Dot is the mom, and Phil is the dad. So Dot says, "Goodness, it's raining cats and dogs," and Marmaduke is like, "Ooh." So I don't know if you can see this.
Just point it up towards the camera.
You see this?
Uh-huh.
All right.
A lot of ink in this one.
Dot, yeah, this is a very detailed comic. It's one of the more. It seems like Brad Anderson was really earning his bucks this week. So Dot says Phil will be drenched when he gets off the bus. Phil takes the bus? Since when? Maybe after he tried to murder Marmaduke in their car.
Maybe he just wants to put money in the local infrastructure.
Maybe. Here, take this to the bus stop and wait for Phil. So she gives Marmaduke an umbrella and he puts it in his mouth.
Uh-huh.
See?
I love how outraged you are at everything in a Marmaduke cartoon.
So he's carrying a umbrella in his mouth, and then he sees the little poodle that he's in love with, and she comes up and is like, "Arf!" And so then he gives the poodle the umbrella, and then Phil's like, "Hey, what about me?" So this comic is just Marmaduke gives a female dog his umbrella.
So is this a new category in the Marmaduke canon? Marmaduke wants pussy?
I guess so.
Is there any others like that?
Well, there's sometimes where he's going after the little poodle dog. He's into her.
So what do you know about the Marmaduke movie?
Not a lot. I know that there's a surf contest, and that you said it's like the OC, where Marmaduke is like trying to fit in, and he's the new kid on the block.
So it says here, Lee Pace plays Phil Winslow.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Judy Greer is Debbie Winslow. So they changed her name.
Dot is short, but Dot is Dorothy, so they did change her name. Well, because it's an old-timey name. They had to modernize it a bit, I guess.
Owen Wilson is Marmaduke.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Stone is an Australian shepherd named Maisie. Fergie, George Lopez, Kiefer Sutherland, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Sam Elliott, and Steve Coogan, Ice-T, Damon Wayans Jr., Marlon Wayans, Todd Glass is the Doberman.
We've talked to Todd Glass about it. He did not enjoy. It seemed like it was not an enjoyable experience for him.
Chris Colfer, Josh Gad.
It's got everybody.
It's a big production.
Definitely.
That was 7 years ago. Came out June 4th, 2010.
Man.
How much money did it make? Because the whole reason is they made it is like Garfield was a big hit, so they started releasing all these movies that should have come out 20 years ago. The budget was $50 million. How
much did it make?
$83 million worldwide.
Worldwide. I mean, they probably thought they were going to do a lot better than that, but at least they didn't. No, it wasn't a total bomb.
No. But they didn't make any sequels.
No.
When did Brad Anderson die? 2015.
A couple years ago, yeah. We may have killed him.
But at least he lived to see the Marmaduke movie.
Yeah. And you think he was happy with it?
He was 91 years old. I know he probably got a lot of money from it.
Well, he had plenty of money. These guys merchandise these comics to no business, and I don't know.
He created the comic strip Marmaduke in 1954.
Yeah.
It's been that long? I figured it was like around the
No, man, this is like
80s or something.
No, it's been around forever. These guys, these are all like just iconoclasts.
This is a nice biography as opposed to Hank Ketchum, who, if you read about him, like he had a son named Dennis, who he didn't get along with, and then
Oh my god! Could you imagine your dad naming a comic after you, and it's all about how this kid's an asshole?
Yeah, and then like he grew up like not knowing his dad, and like but
That's
that
messed
comic
up. I
strip
didn't
was
know
named
that.
after him. I don't think he got any money from it when he died.
Oh my
It
gosh,
was like a sad story.
that is really sad. That sounds very sad.
Sometimes comics have sad stories attached to them.
Well, Derek, you're not a sad story, and I'm not a sad story.
Not yet.
Oh,
What if I made a comic strip called Little Brendo, but I didn't give you any money and I
Brenda.
stopped talking to you?
I would definitely sue you.
But then I would bring up that podcast where I own your
I think I could
name and
get that.
likeness.
That would not hold up in court.
Based on all of the judgments that's been going on, I don't think justice exists anymore. I think my corrupt
Are you kidding?
that would win.
No, I could get a corrupt enough lawyer. I could win.
I think you'd have to spend a lot of money fighting me in court.
You'd have to spend a lot of money. You don't.
But at that point, I would be like a millionaire for my Brendo empire, little Brendo empire.
Brendo Empire. I'd get the ACLU or somebody. I don't know.
I don't think. I think you're low on the totem pole.
Somebody would know. No, I could find a greedy lawyer that would want your millions, because all I'd have to do is be like, I never gave him my likeness rights.
Dude, would you tell him about the podcast?
I would, and that wouldn't hold up. That's not even an oral. That's barely an oral agreement.
So I think what worst comes to worst, I would wait till you're completely exhausted and then settle. Give you a few.
Why would you do this to me?
Give you a few thousand.
Why would you do this to me?
I don't know.
You're an evil monster. I just watched the Christmas MST3 cray about this man that he basically buys the North Pole and then starts charging Santa rent knowing he can't pay it because he wants to ruin Christmas. It's messed up.
It's and like now the plot of Santa Claus 3.
You want to take down the BrendoMan and ruin all the joy of the Brendo maniacs.
1985 Biff. You would come try to and Andrew and Emily would be like my henchmen.
Why would they help you?
Because I pay them handsomely.
Oh my gosh.
But Andrew did say he can't be bought. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I hope so. Evil Derek and his little henchmen. And so I'd come up and it would be Emily and Andrew being like, do you want to we can do this the easy way or the hard way?
I think it would be very easy to convince Emily to play that role. I would give her you can't really see it in Back to the Future Part 2, but 3D.
Andrew says he's a man of principles.
3D is wearing aviator glasses with blue and red lenses in it.
Yeah.
And I think if I gave those to Emily, she would be on board with this.
And then she would come up to me and be like, do you want to do this the easy way or the hard way? And then it's some guy goes, the easy way.
Does that make Biff a good guy that at least he's loyal?
No.
It's weird that there's no 85 version of a young Tannen to torment Marty with, since there's always a Tannen tormenting a McFly, and it's Needles. Does that mean, is Needles somewhat related to the Tannens?
I mean, I don't know, probably.
Because he was kind of the bully of
what's going on in Hill Valley. There is no like young Tannen 85 because Biff 55 Biff, I don't think ever got married.
But he does have a Griff, so he has to have a kid at some point.
That's true. So he did maybe he is married and we never see his wife.
I don't know.
Who's 55 Biff married to?
Or maybe they didn't marry them. Just had a kid with them.
Just had a kid, probably. That sounds like a Biff thing to do. Anyway, that's it. That's Radio BrendoMan for this week. Stay tuned next week as we'll find out if I survive this Tijuana adventure. I'm
betting no. So Andrew, clear your schedule. You can co-host Radio BrendoMan with me.
What if you get a call from me and I am being held hostage?
What do you want me to do?
I want you to call my Call my attorney.
I could do that.
I
I
don't
don't have
have
to
an
go
attorney.
over there.
I don't have an attorney.
I'm not
Call the
crossing.
embassy. You're not crossing the border for me.
Is there an American embassy in Tijuana?
There's somewhere in Mexico.
Call the embassy. I'm not crossing.
You're not crossing the border for me?
I know you probably would for me, but what am I expected to do?
I don't know. What if I need 100,000
Oh,
pesos?
well, I don't have any money.
You could maybe, I don't know. Help me
The
out.
animated series has Biff Jr. Andrew, would you come help me form a posse to go into Mexico to break Brendo out from all of the corrupt cartel that has him?
We're going to be
hostage?
fine. We are being accompanied by locals that are helping us. And I'm not going to unknowingly smuggle anything.
Andrew, in Tijuana, sometimes trouble just finds you.
That is true. My brother got jumped in Tijuana.
See, Andrew will probably, if he finds out you did anything illegal, Andrew ain't helping.
I wouldn't expect him to. I wouldn't expect you guys to help me out of any trouble that I got myself into. But if I was I'm still like convinced that I'm going to end up in some mixed up identity or some misunderstanding.
If you ended up in like jail, I would call people I knew in San Diego to go into San Diego with me.
Well, that's good. At least we got that.
I would call people that have done that before. I know who to call. I know they would help me, and then we'll see what we can do.
There we go. Well, that's good to know. That is good to know, but it's going to be fine, and we'll all be back here recording on Sunday, episode Tuesday, and it'll be a good time. Derek, you got any big things going on this week?
Nope.
Big movies? You going to go see Transformers?
I was going to try to postpone tonight because it actually comes out tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like 9 million hours long. There's no way I could have done both. And I kind of want to see it in IMAX because it was shot for IMAX.
There's some UK wrestlers that have cameos. Is there like time travel in this movie? Because these wrestlers,
about the knights.
Yeah, because these wrestlers are playing knights, and I'm like, why are there knights in a Transformers movie? What's happening? I haven't seen the trailer.
Anthony Hopkins is in it.
Yeah, what the hell is happening?
Did you hear the spinoff is going to be an 80s Bumblebee movie with, what's her name? The lead is good. Oh, that girl from True Grit.
Oh, Haley Stanfield?
Yeah, imagine that movie I'd see.
I'd watch that. And also, she's
Volkswagen Bumblebee.
Have you heard her music? It's actually really good. It's pretty good.
I'll be your flashlight.
But yeah, all right. Well, that's the end of this episode because we've been going for a while.
Andrew never answered if he's joining my posse to save Brendo. That's your That's the star of your podcast network, Andrew.
He said, "Did he unknowingly smuggle something?"
No.
So I think no. What if I just got wrong, misunderstanding, or got held up by a corrupt federale? That can happen.
I tried to build a G1 Devastator today, but we didn't have all the parts. If no,
There's
then
a lot of parts on that. I only knew one person that had the whole thing of that.
We have the whole thing. We're just missing 2 pieces: the head and one of the hands. I don't know. I don't know if we could put it all together. Figure it out. Andrew's not coming.
He says he'll send some support.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
He'll send his girlfriend. He'll send representatives of the Benview Network to come help you. He'll send Justin Keys on, Jordan.
Well, I don't have any hair. I think I look pretty good.
You look like you're a prisoner.
I am a prisoner of this life. I'm a prisoner of my own.
You should get like your ears pierced.
No, I should not do that.
Or maybe your septum.
Everybody, heck
like
no.
a bull ring.
100% no. No way.
I know so many girls that have done that. If little girls can do that, come on.
No thank you.
How How about a lip
One.
ring?
No, I don't think any of that would look good on me. And also, I have no desire to pierce myself. I would cry.
How about if you wore rings?
Why would I want to? Why?
I'm just trying to up your
Up my bling?
butch look.
Why would I? What?
I don't
My
know.
butch look. Well, we'll talk about it more next time. And you can hit us up. Go to radiobrendo.com. And we'll see you next week for Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Derek Armijo.
Have a good one, everybody. And John Goobang Do. All right, so don't forget, don't save over the last week's episode.
I can't now, so it's all good.
That was episode 341.
Who does Nerd's Eye View now, Andrew, or is it just dead?
Is anybody even doing it?
Did you just get bored of it? You wanted fresh podcasts. I don't know. There still needs to be the weekly,
Oh, PWG was awesome. I met James Franco, and the matches were great, and it was awesome.
Me and Justin just recorded a new Nerd's Eye View.
A new show.
Wow.
Are you going to do that John Woo show? Is that real? Oh, no, that was Emily that was talking about the... Was that you or Emily who was talking about the John Woo show? No, that was Emily. Because they're saying what they would do after Spielberg.
That sounds a lot worse.
The Woo Cast. Except it's W-O... But Woo Cast will be about Wu-Tang Clan. PWG, Keith Lee, Leo Rush, great match. They were all great matches. They're probably going to go through his producer credits. They got to watch Amazing Stories and stuff.
Should be called Woo Your Worst.
Woo Your Worst. All right. Well, Derek will. So Sunday, is that when you're available?
Yeah.
Okie doke. And be in touch, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Have a good week.
Joe Woo Bang Do.